I don't know why it waits after the sends out.
That fucking day.
Did you see my Facebook post I just made?
You're repeating.
Did you see my is it echoing?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. How about this? Am I better now? I think I'm better now. I think I fixed it.
Yes, your audio reverb's gone.
Have you seen my Facebook post?
About the plushie shelf?
Yeah, my rent a buddy.
Yeah, I sent that to the fiance. That was really sweet of you, dude.
I was like, I have so much fucking plushies all around here, and they never. I'd rather they be somewhere out there than getting stuck in a box in here. Part of me wants to be like kind of funny and just add stuff that like they don't know, they just think is cute. So like, I almost put. I almost put this in there. I might still, maybe we'll see. The near free to play game.
Yep.
Yeah. I was like, they won't know what that is. They just think it's a cute ghost. What else did I almost put in there? Let's be really funny, and I'll sneak in the limbo blob. It'll be in the back, so once you get like one, you see, what the fuck is this thing?
Just all of a sudden, surprise huddle.
Yeah, the surprise huddle. Yeah, I should move some of this other stuff just because it clears out room in my place, and I don't feel guilty about having that stuff.
True.
Welcome to the Blurbies podcast, episode number 217. I'm Adrian. That's David.
Yeah.
We did Games Gone By yesterday. Shoutouts. There's massive echo reverb on there, so I'm gonna go back to the lab again, and I'm gonna go in at see if I can edit. There's so much software in there that's really good at just that's good at catching echo now. Let's see if it does that over the recording. It might be fucked in some aspect. We'll fix some of it. First episode.
We'll do what we can. Play your cards right. You know what? If anything, it adds to the spoopiness of Alan Wake. So
sure, that's what we'll say.
it was done with intent.
Yeah. Not the film teacher just fucking up his recordings because he doesn't check his due diligence. But hey, couldn't be me. Have you ever played the game Florence?
No.
It's like 45 minutes, but it's a love story game. Just basic puzzle, pretty much that. But man, I'm playing that with some of my students today. Well, I supposed to play it with two classes, but one class was just fucking. They were not in it today. The way I'm describing them is they look like they stood up 24 hours, and then it looks like right before they walked in my classroom, someone told them their grandma died. Like,
Jesus.
They just like were dead silent, nothing. Even out of my good students, there's nothing. And I was like aghast. I had to do that teacher thing I've never done before, would just stop the lesson. I turn on all lights because I always have dim lights. Turn the lights all the way up. I'm like, all right, we're figuring some shit out because this is not how it's gonna fly with some seniors. But with the other class was fine, and we played that. I love fucking with them though because like it's a love story. So like it'll be like the first date. I'm like, all right, boys, pay attention because you'll guys might get this one day. And they're like, oh, I'm gonna get a date one day. It's just fun. Anyway, this is our video game podcast. As I mentioned, we do Games Gone By. That's our video game book club. We did Alan Wake. That is an episode up. It's on the Twitch channel, Games Gone By podcast. I will try my best to edit that soon. I'm fucking busy as hell this week. So I can't promise an edit on that. I will get to uploading those so soon, so we'll see how that goes. Hey, buddy, by the way, they're not death allergic to cats. They're coming to hang out someday.
No.
He doesn't know what that means. But yeah. So that'll be up. American Nightmare with audio fixed. We'll be going up in a couple weeks. We're going to be recording that on the, what was it, 28th, I want to say? Yep. August 28th. Final Fantasy VII's on September 11th, and Resident Evil 7 is September 25th. Mark those days down. Games of Gone By is going. If you want to join in on our conversation, hop in the podcast, come message me or David. And on Twitter, at Depunked, at Duran LaJoyou. Tell us, let us know, and we'll hop you in. If you just want to hang out for the podcast, add a couple words in the chat, come on, do that. If you just want to watch it 3 years from now and not do it now, do it. I don't give a shit. That's fine. Um, let's see. Any other housekeeping things? That Games Gone By is also on Twitter. Nope. David, what'd you get this week?
Hell yeah. I got a new roof for the house.
Yeah. So, all right. Let's reel back some excitement for a second. Last week, it's Evo time. We're pumped up. It was fantastic. Evo was legitimately fucking next level.
Yeah.
It was so every match, like legitimately every top six of that last day was just fucking killer. Like I could sit down and watch that whole VOD. Even Guilty Gear, I took clips of that, and Guilty Gear is just a fun game to watch. Even if you're not into it,
Yes.
it just looks fucking cool. I need to play it, but yeah, it looks cool. Anyway, but we were hyped up, especially why? Because I was mentioning, hey, August is a bad time, but you know what would be good? July. July, I'm still on break. We can do this. David's like, hell yeah. So we got our early hell yeahs in. We're doing that. And then like 2 days later, David's like, so about that. Continue.
Yeah, so I ended up working from home most of last week just because they were doing construction at work. And as I'm just kind of going about my day downstairs, prepping lunch, one of my neighbors happened to kind of just like wave to me through the window, and they're like, "Hey, I don't mean to be nosy or anything, but
Your
have you
roof
looked
is
at
gone."
the state of your roof?" Yeah, like honestly, kind of. He's like, "Have you looked at the state of your roof lately?" I'm like, no. He's like, "Yeah, I live on the third floor, and a lot of your shingles are missing, and there's just a lot of nails coming out of it." And I'm like,
Good
"Oh,
guy neighbor.
that's
Imagine,
not good."
hey, shouts to him. That could have been miserable in about another year.
Well, we've had like a lot of massive rainstorms, and I've been finding like the occasional drip spot here and there in the ceiling. So I'm like, it's probably just getting under the cracks somewhere along the way. It's not any
That's
major
fine. Put a bucket
damage.
on it. Fuck it.
But no, it hasn't been anything like that. It's just been like, oh hey, there's like a one spot there, whatever. Um, but yeah, no, I apparently qualified for an emergency roof repair loan.
Yeah, no, like again, shout out to that guy because in about a year, if there was like another fucked up storm, that could have been like bad.
Yeah. Also found out that there's asbestos growing up there.
Woo! That
So
that
that's
that's
something.
that's a thick Dave magic right there.
Yeah. So luckily, it's not like in a part of the house where it actually impacts the house, but it's one of those things that down the road, it could grow and get worse.
Thick.
So that's
It's gonna
something
get
that I
thick.
gotta. Yeah. So that is something that eventually in the next couple of years, basically need to pay to stay somewhere for like a week as a fucking ecological, I don't know, some fucking biologist team goes through and purges the
Some
house.
ecologist, what you say?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not that much. Like what? Put a couple of pieces of wood together and you're fine, right?
Yeah, that's how that works.
So we're going to Evo.
Yeah. As soon as I can get back the 26 grand I dropped on the roof.
That's the number right there.
Honestly, it's not that bad though. All things considered, originally they were looking to quote about like 30,000 plus, and because I qualified for the emergency loan, is why it got dropped down so much.
Oh yeah, hey, we'll save you 4,000. I mean, yeah, hey, that sounds nice. It's still fucked, but that's nicer.
Yeah.
That means when you finish paying it, you got $4,000 of funny money because I mean, technically that's how it works, right?
Sure. Also, real quick, Yakuza Zero vinyls just went up on sale for Amazon.
I can't spend more money.
What? You didn't just drop 26K on a roof? You can do it.
Yeah, no. So I mentioned that immediately. Would I love to be a homeowner? Sure. I say this every fucking paycheck. I swear to God, I say this. This time next month is the beginning of my savings because I truly don't know what I'm trying to buy at this point now. Like I say it every single time. Like there's like nothing I need. And then just little by little, just like chipped away. And granted, like I was like, for sure, this is the paycheck where like I can start building up. But then it kind of went toward the classroom, so I don't have a paycheck again. And then my other ones are used for all the bills. I kind of offset it that way, like mostly funny money, then bills, mostly funny money, and that's not really a good way to do it, but whatever. But I say that because my balance should start growing at this point, paying off some of the loans and everything. But I want to house hunt by this time next year, but then I say that, and then you tell me a story, and like, yeah, 30,000, even so, in the grand scheme of like owning a house is not much because you're that's an investment, but
I mean, that's like a third of my house's actual value.
really,
My house was only 80,000 when I bought it.
no, but now,
Now, I mean, now my house, I think, technically is evaluated at like 1,050, something like that, 100,050.
150,000.
It, yeah, 100,000, like 500 something.
Oh, just straight up 100,000.
Yeah, it's gone up in value.
Surely it's more. Look at Zillow right now.
No, my house, I have no land. Like you saw my
Dude,
house.
I know.
I
but,
own
like,
no land.
dude. Like have you been to San Francisco? That's
Yeah, but this is Maine.
I know,
Maine,
but
you're
I'm saying
expected to
that
have at least several acres.
I guess, but like that's cheap as hell.
Yeah. All right.
I'm just
looking at
curious, I
my.
want- That might be the cheapest I've heard of a house in the U.S. in a long time.
I mean, you can still get houses here for under 100,000. They need work, but
That's
I don't believe that for a fucking
I-
second.
That's because
Fuck out of here.
What is it?
No, fuck off. They currently rate the house at 200,000.
That's something I would probably put at, honestly, genuinely, because house market is stupid. Like genuinely, like it doesn't matter if you have a house market is fucking dumb. That's why I don't go hunting. It's dumb. Now
how the fuck
now
is
they
my
don't-
house worth?
They don't know about the asbestos, so maybe knock off a little bit on there. But no, I know what your house. I know, I remember, but like a house is a house, and this time there's not a lot of those going around for easy living money right now. That's what I'm trying to say. But I say that, and again, I thought this is like one of the times I'm like, thank God I just got an apartment because I'm not trying to pay that much money out of my pocket. Right
No,
now.
this is not the time to buy. Genuinely, because the fiance and I were having a conversation about this. You know, we're not staying here forever. This is not a forever kind of house. We
that
need
house
somewhere
is gonna
that
be
we can.
forever. Give a few more years. That shit's gonna be gone too.
I mean, the house is 200 years old as it is. Which
So
number
$1,000 every year.
It's true. Truly, we want it built.
Hold on, I'm gonna interrupt you.
Go ahead.
Fucking people that made this house had no idea. In 2 generations, some fucking fat asshole is gonna be in there. He's gonna buy a bunch of bullshit he doesn't need, have a dumbass cabinet in the back, drinking his beer, having his cats saying "fuck Blizzard." They don't.
That's true.
That's where that's
no
where-
one could have predicted
This is
200
where-
years ago.
Yeah, this is where their hard work. Oh, we gotta put the nails in the ground, fucking do this. Oh, this is gonna be in our family for ages, Agatha. And here you come. Oh, here, fuck 'em. Oh man, I love it. Just thinking about that. Just if they only knew. If they only knew. David, you were gonna say something. I cut you off.
Yeah, no. Truly, it's one of those things that.
Housing market.
Yeah, housing market is fucking wild.
So
It honestly, save right now. The way that I would personally do it, and the way that the fiance have been kind of boiling it down to, is definitely it's gonna be one of those things where it's gonna be tempted to buy whatever kind of house you can. But truly, I think if you're at this point in the housing market, if you're gonna buy an existing property,
Just buy one
try
you-
to get one
yeah.
that's
Get one
newer,
year- no,
something that's like 20 years under.
So, well, it sucks. I saw if I had the money, there was a house I saw like recently that was fucking amazing. In the kitchen, I want a good ass kitchen. I want a big kitchen. It had an incredible kitchen with a fireplace in the kitchen, which was fucking dope, and it was only 180, which was like, ah, shit. I would have 100% done that. I'm going house hunting next summer because teachers here have a really good program to get stuff. It's like we get like $6,500 like just given to us for down payment and stuff like that. Like there's like big stuff that I've shown multiple people that are like, oh shit, that's really good. So there's a program there that I gave them a call actually recently too, and told him the financial situation, told him kind of what I'm aiming for, because I'm not aiming to buy a starter house and go on.
Yeah.
Whatever house I get is the house I get. I'm not trying to fuck with that whole like upgrade later market.
So you're trying to kind of do the one and done, like get close enough to what you're looking for.
Yeah, because
and call it a
my
day.
mom doesn't understand that. I get that I look young, I get that I act young, but I feel like she forgets how old I am a lot of times too. Obviously, I get it. I mean, I understand. But she'd be like, just start off with like a trailer home and do this. I'm like, no, like I'm
Oh, no.
no, I told her that. Like, I'm absolutely not.
There's
If I
no
was,
return on investment.
but I would only consider it if I was living a minimalist lifestyle and like wasn't gonna have kids. I have bullshit around me that I'm gonna keep unless Lord help me something happens. And like I'm 32 in a few months at this point. I don't I would be flabbergasted if in the next 5 years I don't have a kid. Because at this point, like at that point, I'm like, what am I doing? Might as well adopt, I guess, at some point. But like, I'm gonna have a kid, so I tell him like, whatever house I need, I'm not gonna upgrade that shit. I can't afford to just upgrade a house at that point. So it's like, whatever house I get, it's gonna be at the family home. So I need like 3 or 4 bedrooms, a nice kitchen, and like space. Like I'm gonna just invest in that, and we'll see how that goes. But that's my goal. I'm not gonna do this whole starter home shit. Like no one could do that.
Yes. So in that case, you're definitely going to want to try to go for something that's built in the last 20 years or so. Main reason being is it's going to have recent electricity hookups. It's going to be.
I don't have to repair shit right up the gate, which is what every house needs right now. I get that.
The closest thing you would have to worry about is roof. Roofs.
You don't say.
Newer roofs. We went through a whole fucking rabbit hole studying all this shit because of this. Newer roofs are made with more thinner, easier wearing material because they're meant to be more easily degradable to make sure that it's like less damage and impact on the environment. So the trade-off is that any house has been made, unless it's like a metal roof within the last 20 some odd years or so, is gonna die faster than like an old school roof. So if you get something modern, that's going to be the one thing that you're going to have to potentially replace that in the near future.
Okay. Hell yeah.
But otherwise than that, if you're not building, which I would honestly recommend, if you can, try to hold out for that. Buy a little bit of land and build out for that.
That's not a thing.
If that's not happening, then
no,
buy something that's newer.
Here's the thing. You would do this in a heartbeat. I refuse. My mom and her boyfriend have told me repeatedly, because I live in Albuquerque. There's a town not far from here called Las Lunas, which is, let me see how far it is. From way over here. Directions. Like 35 minutes from here right now. That town is more rural, but it has much cheaper housing.
Yeah.
Fuck that. I don't want to. Like they tell me all the time, just do it. They also tell me to go like teach out there because they pay better. Like it's cheaper housing and they pay better for teaching.
How much further away is it from where you teach currently?
No, that's what I was aiming for, or that's what I was.
Gotcha.
It's only like a half an hour drive.
That's nothing.
It's nothing. Right now, you know my situation. Right now, it's like now, but it's a rural town, and if I ever decided to teach out there, my pay is a lot better too. No, like I just don't. I do not currently. I just don't. I don't know if I'll ever, but maybe. I never say never, but I mean, like as of now, I just don't like rural. I can't vibe with that right now. I'm a city kid, and this is as close as I can get. I'm not even in a city, but like this is already like my biggest arm space away. Now, if it was like 20 minutes tops, because there's also like a city on the other direction, Edgewood, which is more conservative, which is unfortunate, but like a lot more like.
I mean, you're in the south.
Southwest is different. We're still a blue state.
Still south.
We're still a blue state. But it's like more wooded areas. I don't mind as much, but like dry ass like land out there. I just need cities. Everyone, the people who know me. It's like I just need a hustle and bustle of some life. If I could live in a fucking like nice ass apartment downtown and not have to fight for money, I would have done that in a heartbeat. I'm not gonna do that. But I know my limits. But yeah, like my mom and her boyfriend tell me that every fucking time. Like, just do it. Just go do it. Just go do it. Because let me. I'm just curious now. Out of just my sheer curiosity. Um. And see, like, there's land out here that's like 1,500 for a quarter acre. Uh,
That's, I mean, going by main rates, that's fucking expensive. But
but you're also like, yeah, you're near a metro. Um, yeah, I mean, you're looking at the house she would want me to buy. You're looking at like no more than 250, like around like anywhere from like 125 to 150. I would just hunt harder in Albuquerque because I'm like, I just I need a city. I need stuff like that. That's just me.
that's fair.
I'm not wilderness man. Well, you're not even a wilderness man. You're just like,
No, I just like isolation.
yeah. I could I part of me, like, especially when I go camping, I'm like hiking and stuff like that. It's funny because that does trigger another part of me that I just always am unaware of myself, where I am very wilderness heavy at that time. Like, I can vibe with that a lot, but it needs to be like on heavy terms and what I like, which is like trees need to be around me and like some sort of water.
I will say that is one thing that the older I get, the more pissed off I get about is I hate how everything here is closed by fucking 9 o'clock. Like
Yeah,
that is the one
that
thing that the
shit
older I get, the
sucks.
more I'm pissed off by it.
Which is funny because like it's supposed to be the opposite. The older you get, it's like whatever. I'm not even awake by then.
No, fuck that. I still never sleep. So it's kind of one of those things. There's so many times with the fiance or I are up at like 3 a.m. and it's like,
The fuck?
fuck, we just want to go somewhere. We just want to not be in the house for a little bit, and nothing is open. Like even the gas stations around here have stopped being 24/7. So it's like fucking. There's literally nowhere to
You
go.
know what I did the other? I didn't say this in the podcast. Uh, so over my summers, when I do date, it's it's often nice for whoever I am seeing because like I'm like at like almost 24/7 call, right? Well, this summer, much less so, obviously, but like previous summers when I'm at home, if I've only traveled for like a week or so, you can call me whenever, and I'm like I'm around. If and a lot of times I'm nocturnal during that too, because I'm like I can do it
Yeah.
with how I want. Dude, being awake at night is so nice because there's like no one's bothering me. Fantastic. Um, but like one summer when we did that, this girl worked nights, overnights at a Amazon facility, stocking. Not stocking. She's a manager. But she would have her flexible time, but she'd be awake all the time, like nocturnally. And we're opposites. Yeah, not every place is open that late, but like we had some 24-hour places, or at least like places open to like 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, and did Del Taco. But then I mentioned that because this last about I want to say maybe a month and a half ago or 2 months ago, the girl that I'm seeing, we were up late. I forget why, and I watched a video and I was like, "Fuck, I'm hungry," but like, I hate eating late. That shit like sticks with you. That's just like an extra 5 pounds for the rest of my life. So I'm like, no, I'll wait. I'll like maybe we'll go for breakfast. We'll see. And then YouTube takes me down one video, then one video, then like the third video, it auto plays best dishes you could have at Waffle House. I'm like, fuck, that sounds incredible right now. I didn't even play it, didn't even start the video. I'm like, oh, Waffle House sounds amazing. Let's go. Because that's the shit where you're like, ooh, it might start a fight. Maybe see a fucking like bloodbath right now. Hell yeah. Uh, it's like $20 for like a breakfast for two, which is like a pretty hefty one. That's like pretty filling. And then I walked out, and my friend messaged me on Snapchat that morning. She's like, "See the fight?" I'm like, "No." She's like, "I saw you were at Snapchat. There's a big ass fight that popped out like around 3 a.m." I was like, "Oh, I left at like 2:30." It's like, "Fuck, I missed it." uh, yeah, 24-hour places that less so of a thing, universally, but like we got more options for sure than you do.
Yeah, I think like the closest way back pre-pandemic, we had we had two places that were 24/7, technically three because it's fucking Maine. Of course, we had one that was so Duncan was 24/7 all the time for a lot of them. We had Cumbies that was open 24/7, and Denny's was 24/7.
Denny's isn't 24/7 anymore. Hold up, what?
No, not since the pandemic has our Denny's been 24/7.
Ours is still. What the fuck? That's wild.
They probably just wanted to stop paying for the cop escorts there.
That's true. David, talk about what else you got. I gotta get water.
The only other thing that I got here is one of my limited run game purchases came in. As we've kind of talked about before, I am slowing down on a lot of them. I'm just trying to get the ones that I know I actually really want, and this is a indie darling for Metroidvanias, and I've had a really good buddy of mine be like, no, you should try it, you should give it a go. And that's Minoria. Very interesting Metroidvania. I haven't tried it yet, but it's one of those games that has been on my to-get list for a long time. And as soon as I saw it actually on Limited Run there, I decided that was the time to go ahead and grab it. And I'm excited to honestly get around to finally playing this. I adore good Metroidvania, and it's got a really good aesthetic to it. I'm always in the mood for one of those, so I'm excited that I finally got that. Adrian is still not back. I was hoping that would buy enough time. So, in the absence of Adrian being here, can I just say that today we're going to be talking about a lot of cuckery. And that cuckery involves alleged cuck, Linus Sebastian, of Linus Tech Tips. I would love to start a Blue Rupees villain chart, and then we would use Gore the Movie God as the gatekeeper for that. Gore the Movie God is like the frenemy of the podcast at this point. We'll put him there, but then it's going to be on a scale of worse than Gore the Movie God, or not as hostile as Gore the Movie God, and we'll go from there. Where is Adrian? Adrian is still not back. That is unfucking acceptable. Ladies and gentlemen, everyone else in between, how y'all doing? Giving the chat a chance to refresh here. Oh, that actually reminds me. Another thing that I got, this is digital only. I'm slowly going through and removing a lot of the subscriptions that I have, just because, again, gotta pay for the fucking roof. But also, I've been wanting to kind of save up on some cash more long-term anyways, so going ahead, getting rid of all of the unnecessary subscriptions from my life and reducing down a lot of that trash. But in the interim, I've been still taking advantage of a couple of them. One of them was my Amazon Prime. I actually finally got rid of that. I still have it active till November, but there was in the Twitch Prime loot Quake 4, which was a fun little surprise. I like the Quake series. I haven't actually played 4. That one has escaped my purview up to this point, but I'm excited to give that one a go eventually. The boy is back.
What we talk about?
I mean, there's a fun surprise if you ever go back and listen to this section. But we were talking about the fact that the only other thing I really got was, as part of the Twitch Prime loot, got Quake 4, and I got a Metroidvania indie darling Minoria from Limited Run.
Nice. You get your humble choice yet?
No, that is always the first Tuesday of the month. So, I mean, technically I got it last week, but...
Okay, because, yeah, it's that,
Yeah, because that had Shotgun King, Ozymandias, Merchant of the Sky, Disco Elysium, Yakuza 4, Temtem, Outer Worlds.
Yeah. Hell yeah. I got nothing.
Oh, no, that's the next one you're talking about, the one with Disco Elysium. which I have the PS5 version of that, which I didn't realize it had such a low print run because that one goes for a hearty chunk of change.
That's fair.
'Cause I think my copy goes for like 100-ish right now.
Hell yeah.
Check real quick. But yeah, what'd you get while
Nothing.
I look this up? You got
I
nothing.
probably got some digital
Beautiful.
stuff. I haven't been checking.
Oh, okay. It has gone down a bit. It's down to 70 now. It's no longer at the 100 it's been at for a while.
Nice. All right, David, what'd you play?
I played Alan Wake as we did that for our revival of games gone by.
So stay tuned. Go watch that for our opinion. Sorry for the echo right now. Maybe it'll be fixed. It's not.
Yeah,
It's
hopefully
not.
it'll be fixed.
Not inhumanely bad. It just sounds like I'm in a chamber.
It adds a certain ambiance to the game discussion.
Yes, it's not the worst. So it's like if worst case scenario goes up, who cares?
You know what? If you used to listen to old fucking comedy button episodes,
with all of our trash mics too. You know.
yeah, yeah. But
let's see.
But that's kind of the only thing lately I've had the time to play.
Nice. I played the Overwatch. We're gonna talk about it. I played the Overwatch PVE.
You played the PV. You paid the $15 hairs for it.
I paid 40, but that was
Hoofed.
that was the season pass. That was the DLC, and it was like enough coins to pay for future like 2 season passes or something like that. So or 2 battle passes. So it was totally worth it for me because I would have bought the season pass for $10 alone anyway. So because that essentially was like $50 or $40. Hell yeah, I would trade 50 in the chat.
Hell yeah.
It was super short in a way. Like it was like you're done in like an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. Replayable, yeah, maybe. If you essentially if you're all into like the quips that the heroes have together, then yes, like you could play them over and over again and find some new hero lines. Cool. Damn, dude, like this DLC or not even DLC. This story stuff. Man, it really makes me wish they just said fuck the extra filler stuff. Let's just make a campaign, cause like the cutscenes are so fun, dude. Like it's so unfortunate. Like spoilers, in case you haven't seen it. It's not really much a spoiler, I guess, but I'm gonna spoil it for like the next like 5 minutes. So
You've been warned.
yeah, I guess. So the Rio mission's the one that everyone's seen plenty of time before. That's fine. That's the one where Lucio's brand new to, or he's not even in part of Overwatch. He's just like, hey, I need help, and then the Overwatch crew from the trailer, the launch trailer, or I guess the one that we saw originally when the game was announced, right? The one with Brig and yeah, they showed up and they helped Lucio. Cool. Then Lucy was like, "Oh, this is cool, like, hey," and then this is not like, well, we don't really have people. But then he walks in, and you see Diva, Cassidy, and Farah. Okay, you're getting the crew back, and they're like, "Hey, we heard your call. We're in," and cool. But they're like, "We need more people," and Cassidy's like, "I know who to call." And then you go over,
Ghostbusters.
yeah, and then you go over to see Sojourn's thing. But that was a cool moment where like it has the cutscene playing out. Sojourn comes in, has her cool little hero moment, sweet, and then but like this is the part because like the Blizzard like writing in this like the shorts all hit well. I think the shorts were like, universally well done. But man, like you get these moments where it's like, dude, this is just like I fucking love like the cast moments in this because like. You get like Sojourn's like I think it's like Reinhardt and I think Cassidy come out to say hi to her and then nothing really happens and then all of us like Sojourn comes in and says like yeah but like what are we gonna do with just us and then like you hear one of them come back and they you got more of us and then you look back and you say a cool ass hero shot. Everyone loves a hero shot. I fucking love a hero shot. Give me a cool ass hero shot anytime we get some characters I fucking like. Yo, shout outs to, like End of Spider-Verse. Oh, I love me a good hero shot, dude. Just give me a good hero shot and just that's so good. And yeah, like that gave me like a little bit like goosebumps. I'm like, oh fuck yeah, like it's nice to have these characters again. And it just like and then you get one more mission, that's it though. And I'm like, fuck. And it's cool because like I just imagine like the ending, all right, for example. It sucks that we're getting in this place where like if Overwatch 2 had launched altogether, it would have been sick because the story would have hit harder. So for example, Sojourn would have been brand new, cool. You get her and you get a meter in there, cool. The story ends where it's trying to go. So yeah, let me give the Overwatch 2 really quick lowdown.
Yeah, certainly.
The Omnics were a thing, and then they are like trying to live coincide with the humans, but it's like that segregation thing where like you're not human, yada yada. Okay,
And the Omnics are like the kind of like androidy robot guys, right? Like,
Zenyatta.
Zenyatta.
Mm.
Yeah.
Now Null Sector comes in, and they start like brainwashing the Omnics, like essentially like hacking them to become evil. And you see like a pretty fucking like horrific cutscene actually, where it's like it's one of the gameplay cutscenes where you're on a train, and you see like Omnic chasing after, like saying like let me get on the train, let me get on the train, and then they like they're trying to stop the train, and they try to open it, but the doors won't open. Then you see the Omnic get chased by this like almost remember the engineers from Halo ODST?
Yeah.
Those kind of looking things comes over here. It hovers over the Omnic. It sucks its head open almost like that. It's like holding its body like that with its head in there, and lets loose, and the Omnic just like slumps over with this thing on its head. It was like that was pretty like intense for what I granted Overwatch teen, so you can get away with that for sure. But it's like you forget because the game's so hero or like bright and lively. Like that was pretty dark. But they're getting taken over and they're trying to figure out what. So like even like the third mission, for example, is like uh Ryan and Brig go to Torbjorn's workshop to be like, hey, Brig, like my dad could probably figure this out. And then they're doing that, and then there's a funny little moment with like Torbjorn has Bastion, and Reinhardt like has a fucking freak out. He's like, "What the fuck is that thing?" and tries to kill it. And then Bastion's like looks back like that and turns into turret mode. And they have that little standoff. Like it's cool. It little moments like that. But anyway, so the ending it leaves you on a little cliffhanger where it's like, all right, it does its own ending, cool. Then you see like that mentioned like Genji mentioned Zenyatta earlier, but we didn't say anything else about it. And you see Zenyatta kind of just like floating there, and then Sombra and I want to say Widowmaker come up behind Zenyatta, saying like we found him or something like that. Flashback to a cutscene where it's Ramatra and Zenyatta talking, and they're calling each other brothers. They're part of this like this like group called the Iris, and they're trying to like bring unity about them, and they're trying to like do the whole like, hey, they don't understand us, but like they're human, they're also imperfect. Like we're not like you were trying to figure it out. Like Zenyatta's trying to be peaceful about it, like it's this character, right? And Ramatra's like, we've tried that. I'm gonna go off and do my own thing, and like we wish you wouldn't leave, brother, but like if you got to go off and have your own adventure or your own journey, we understand. And that, and then Ramatra looks back and says, you know, like I thought you'd enjoyed me, and then just because Zenyatta stays quiet about that, and then Ramatra's off, and Ramatra is actually the one, and you heard him earlier in the game in the missions, talk like threatening the humans and all that stuff. So Ramatra is essentially the big bad of Overwatch 2, which sucks because he's been a hero in the game since like what December-ish, I want to say, or maybe around like November. I forget what time frame. So it sucks that we got him as a hero and we know him versus like if it was just like looming threat that we would have just found out about and then we got him, right. That sort of doesn't mesh. Like it's like, oh, we know Ramatra, but imagine if you were going through this game and you saw this badass looking like Omnic, and you're like, oh, that thing looks menacing, and then all of a sudden, hey, yeah, he's one of you guys who could play. It's like that would have been cool. But you could tell the timing of this game just fucked everything up. Like it's unfortunate. We talked about this in length before, but like it's unfortunate because so much was stacked against this team that there was really nothing that could have saved it without some sort of sacrifice at the end of the day, right?
Right.
So, with that said,
and it's unfortunate. I hope that we talked about this a little bit before as well. I truly hope that once the Activision Blizzard acquisition does go through, that Microsoft is like, okay, we got a lot of fucking cleaning up to do to get all this shit back on track. You need to be more than just a legacy name that you can coast on. You need to actually produce some fucking quality. It's right. You got it better out than in. That's what Microsoft always says.
Um,
But no, I truly hope they fucking clean house. And not to say Microsoft is a good company as a whole. They're a shit organization. I hate them with every fiber of my being. But
the lesser of two evils.
in terms of when it comes to games, if we look at each branch of Microsoft as a separate entity, their games division is on fucking point with this console generation.
Mostly.
Mostly, from Game Pass onward, where have they failed?
Redfall.
Fair enough.
I say mostly because we mentioned it's a weird spot they're in where they've been told you guys enter too much, leave your hands off of things, right? With like Scalebound, you guys were meddling too much. Now they didn't meddle enough with Redfall to where like Arcane was hoping that Microsoft would cancel it, but oh well.
I know it'll never happen, but I still hope to one day see Scalebound in some form.
I'm sorry.
That concept is just so fucking cool. I just want the.
I'm sorry. I am so firmly planted on that hill where I'm like, Scalebound is what Redfall was back then. It was not going to be a good game.
I don't want.
Gore.
I don't necessarily want Scalebound.
Sure,
Scalebound,
I understand.
But I want that concept.
God bless Gore, but like, that was one that he and I argued about. I'm like, I don't. Why? Like, it didn't look interesting to me. I swear to God, you can go back and watch reactions. I don't give a shit. I'm like, this does not look interesting to me, and it looks for a fucking platinum game, especially around that era. Why is it so fucking slow? But yeah, that's Microsoft is definitely the lesser of the two evils there. But so with the last bit I'll mention about this is on top of that, you also get like cool like codecs and everything. You'll get like voicemails. You can go through data, which if you complete the mission with the hero, you get added lore. So if you got friends to play with, that's your kind of jam. It's not bad, but it is asking a lot. And I'd rather just like, if you slapped maybe 15 to 20 of those missions together, called it a campaign, and slapped $60 on it, I would have bought it and I would have enjoyed the hell out of it. But now it's like 3 for 15 is asking a good chunk from me.
I truly think, and I know the intent behind Overwatch 2 was to not split the player base, but I think that's still, in retrospect, the biggest fuck up of Blizzard handling the situation is erasing Overwatch 1.
I believe that.
100%. Like, imagine if all this shit was going on with Overwatch 2, but you could say to yourself, you know what, at least I can still play Overwatch 1.
Right. I'm half on half on that because I believe like I get that, but also it would have been just hell for whatever game took the lesser hit of that. The queues would have been terrible because even at the end of Overwatch 1, the queues were pretty atrocious. Overwatch 2 shortening that by one player and changing things up a little bit and free to play like relieved the hell out of that queue.
Fair.
Let's see. I booted up American Nightmare last night. I will say this. David,
Yo.
I don't think you're gonna like it.
Hell yeah.
But the caveat on that, heavy caveat, is you didn't like the gameplay of Alan Wake.
Correct.
The gameplay is a lot more slick.
Interesting.
It's a
As in, like,
lot more fluid.
okay.
It has that XBLA feel, so it's like it doesn't have the AAA quality. It's like it has that bright B button. Hold B to do this. It's got like a health bar now. It's got like a 3-bar health bar on the top. It has a map in the corner with a HUD.
Interesting.
It has like collectibles like that. The manuscripts are different, so like you kind of like does a little animation with it too, which is kind of cool. But it definitely has a put your brain into an XBLA or PSN game around that era that has that kind of UI look to it, but the gameplay is a hell of a lot more slick. I'm saying that like the time to like make the Taken with the light is a lot
Yep.
more quick. The
Ooh,
weapons,
okay.
that nail gun's fucking fun. Where it's like the nail gun, you just keep mashing that trigger and it's just like pew, 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 pew. The
Is it kind of like almost like a rapid fire needler, or
it's not you keep tapping it.
I mean, obviously it's not homing, I
You
imagine,
keep
but
tapping it and the nails come out.
ooh, all right.
But there's that. There's the stamina. Your sprint is a lot better. You're not winded after 4 seconds. Now you can actually run for a while, and when you are winded, it'll like actually slow down a little bit. The dodge still tied to where you're at, so I'm sorry. Um, but like if the biggest problem was the gameplay, don't be worried about that.
Okay.
Um,
I mean, it was a large contributor to it. Definitely not the only,
that's
but
what I figured. That's what I was say. So it's very action based. Like you are going. It is like uh within the first. I'm about 30 minutes in. It's only 3.5 hours, but about 30 minutes in. And there was already me crashing a satellite into an oil field and me running away from the debris that's all falling around you.
interesting.
Yeah. Buddy, figure out what you want to do. Go do your cat stuff.
He's orange. He has no
Oh,
brain cells. He
yeah,
tries his best.
He just flopped over.
Can do that.
But yeah, so I think the UI is just a little funky with that, but honestly, like I'm actually like enjoying it. I'm just saying I don't think you'd like it because of it being primarily like, very gameplay heavy, but I promise you it's a lot more
Mhm.
slick. It's a lot more slick. Everything feels a lot more fluid. They really refine the hell out of how it plays like that.
Gotcha.
And yeah, and like I'm saying, and especially with you can feel it with the flashlight. Immediately you'll notice that where if you hold it, you're ready to hold it on people, like holding it, holding on, holding on. Like, okay, now it's like hold it, boom, everyone's already done, and just start firing away. Um, so if that's the case, then sure. Uh, we mentioned on the Alan Wake games gone by that uh, if things work out, which I will do in a second. If things work out, that I will be playing Control and DLC, or trying my best to get it all done by the 28th, so we can have a post like end of American Nightmare speculation talk for Alan Wake 2, because David knows about the DLC. He hasn't played Control or the DLC, obviously, but he's heard
I
what.
just know what goes on. in
Yeah,
it.
and I haven't, and I would love to speculate with someone that doesn't already know stuff. So I'm gonna try my best. I'm still aiming on that. So we'll see how that goes. You gonna say something?
A thought kind of dawned on me, and it's kind of been a ruminating thought since Evo. I know we kind of have like a hard
Oh, like
schedule.
Alan Wake and Killer Instinct.
Yes, no.
That'd be kinda sick.
Honestly, you know what game I do kind of want to say goodbye to during Games Gone By, as we will be getting its sequel next year.
Tekken?
I kind of want to say goodbye to Tekken 7 and do a Games Gone By at Tekken 7.
I mean, what do you mean by that though? Like,
Fucking
are we doing like a
just
story
record some fucking
retrospective, or you
matches.
mean like matches like that?
Yeah, just matches. Just talk about the
Well-
history of the gameplay.
well, someone
Play a
suggested-
few final rounds.
Someone suggested that maybe we just like do a stream and like doesn't have to be a full-fledged one, but maybe down the line, maybe sometime next year, if we could pick up people on that and like get that stream going, maybe we just stream an older game.
I think that'd be fucking neat. I know at some point I definitely want to say goodbye to Tekken 7 before Tekken 8 rolls around.
So I just got home from work not too long ago. I had meeting, and then I went to a coworker's house to do planning. I spread thin, but uh, we had an esports meeting, and
So what the kids call it these days.
no, like actual like coach, all the coaches in our district had a meeting,
Is that what
and
the kids call it these days.
I mean, Yeah, we were all at the district building. We were all at the district building, all talking to the supervisor. It was the most meeting a meeting could be. Um,
Oh,
but
sure.
uh, one person over the virtual meeting side of it was like, we were gonna get other games, like maybe like some FGC games, and I just immediately I was in person.
Ooh.
I was just like immediately I just yelled over everyone. I was like, I wish, and some people next to me were like, I'm in Street Fighter. I'm like, dude, don't even joke. Like,
Let me talk to you about Evo here.
yeah. It says, David, why do you like Fang? I kid though.
Oh, why do I what?
Why do you like Fang?
I don't necessarily like Fang per se. This is in relation to a tweet I posted where Aki, one of the new Street Fighter 6 characters, got her trailer during Evo, and I'm like, I don't get her. She just Dommy Mommy
Dude,
Fang.
I
And
loved you missed it. I fucking love the Twitch chat. When that was happening, literally the Twitch chat was spam with I can fix her. And so much so that the guy that was announcing and talking about it, like, or I think it was one of the commentators that were like yeah, the commentators were like, damn, that she's crazy, and then it goes, y'all, I promise you can't fix her. I
I
promise.
mean, to be fair, Twitch Chat was right about Jury. We fixed her. She's one of the
I-
good guys, kinda now.
I love that when people say that I can fix her. I don't know why it's so fucking funny to me. It's so fucking funny to me. Everybody says good luck fixing her. She's even more messed up than Jury. That. Hey, good luck. Yeah, you're right. Good luck. Just like good luck.
Yeah, good luck.
I-
But no, it's not so much that I like Fang. I just everything about her character's gameplay and style and tone. I'm like, oh, this is just if we made Fang a Dommy Mommy. Like, I don't.
Can you fix her?
There's so many original concepts. There's so many. Again, my other big gripe so far with Street Fighter 6 is
No
that
T-Hawk.
considering it's the first game after Street Fighter 3, this is the first game in almost 20 years that has been set after Street Fighter 3.
And we're getting a
And we
Kuma.
have no Street Fighter 3 representation.
Oh, that. I thought you were gonna say just like we're getting a lot of repeats.
Well, we have like basically all the World Warriors. We have
Who are we missing?
a bunch of new folks. No, we have all the original World Warriors.
I did like all the Road Warriors. I assume you meant we missed a couple.
No. We have all 8 original World Warriors, plus some additionals. We have some new characters, some classics from 4 and 5, but like, where's Sean? We still don't have Sean. We don't have Alex, who was supposed to be the next generational lead, which I guess now we just have Luke. Fuck Alex. Where's Yun and Yang? Like, where's fucking 11? Where's goddamn Remy? Like, where's any of the new generation?
What do you think their rationale is behind that?
Because even though Street Fighter 3 is perceived by the community as one of the best fighting games of all time, as a game when it came out, it tanked. It did not perform well as a game.
Do you think, and maybe I'm not trying to be like assumptive over here, but like, do you think that's like a shame thing for like Japanese people where they just don't like reaching into something that they felt was a failure?
No, 100%, because think about like there's a weird juxtaposition in Western media and Eastern media. In Eastern media, more so than not, whenever something is a perceived failure, what do you usually see? They do the complete opposite. They go as far away from it as possible and do it. What do you see more often in Western media? They fucking double down. We go ahead and we have a movie tank so bad in theaters. Maybe you
Morbius
just didn't
came
get
out
it that time.
twice.
Fuck it. We'll throw it out a second time.
Morbius came out twice. Never forget.
Exactly. Or maybe you enjoyed it, but it just wasn't quite enough of what we thought you would like about it. So here's a sequel to it. that is exactly like it but amplified.
Hell yeah.
Like it's one of those things that
Well, that's what
it
I'm
feels
saying.
like
But
such.
that's what I'm saying. Is that maybe is that not like you're saying people in the East go opposite?
Yes,
Well,
correct.
that's what I'm saying.
There's much more.
So do you
Yeah.
think that's like a failure thing where they just don't want to ever approach anything like that because
I
of that?
think definitely from a business perspective, that's probably what it is. There's still a lot of legacy people in control at Capcom, so I'm sure a lot of them are looking at like, well, Street Fighter 3 wasn't
Who
successful.
the fuck cares? Like I don't want to buy that. I don't want to get a DLC. Fuck that character because they were in 3. It's DLC at this point. Who the fuck cares? Like,
But that's-
no one. They're gonna buy the DLC anyway.
Especially now with how fucking wildly successful Street Fighter 6 is. And oh yeah, shoutouts to fucking a pepperoni in the chat, like Q. Q is another great character. We got G as kind of a DLC character reference as well in 5. But still, my homie, my main man, whenever I wasn't playing Ken in fucking Third Strike, you know who I was playing? I was playing the most disrespectful fucking gentleman of all goddamn time. My man Dudley. Man bought a car, man had his car stolen. I need the conclusion to Dudley's car art. What fucking happened to Dudley's car? I need to know. Did he get his car back?
But David, I can fix her.
I can, yeah. And Kel's in the chat. Sean is, again, Sean was meant to be Ken's apprentice, meant to be the next generation of everything that Ken has learned. And he gets one fucking line mentioning him in Street Fighter 6.
No, here's the thing. Here's what I would say though.
And we had his sister in 5!
I'll say this. I'll say this genuinely. I have more hope for that being. I feel like that's better news than not. I feel like there's 3 ways I could go about it. You mentioned not a goddamn thing. You mentioned one small phrase, or you talk a lot about them. I feel like both the opposite ends of that mean they're not happening.
But here's the thing, and Crazy Pepperoni brings up exactly my thought process, is this is fucking Capcom. They talk about a lot of shit all the time. Case in point, Darkstalkers. We will never not have a Capcom crossover that doesn't involve Morgan. But we will never have Darkstalkers again.
Dude, Morgan, put her on a cover and you'll get all these guys all over that game. Again, people
Crazy Pepperoni. Sean was not in 5, his sister was.
Again, so people are pretty make Morgan the Doggy Mommy that everyone wants. Let Twitch chat try to fix her and slap her on the front cover, and I think they're good. Easy. You're welcome, Capcom.
Fuck it, at this point, if that's what it takes to get Darkstalkers characters again, fuck it. I still genuinely want, because let's face it, as much as I want Marvel, we're not getting Marvel anymore. It's not happening. At this point, I genuinely don't think we'll get a new versus Marvel.
I could see it happening. I feel like the Disney that was picking up all that stuff at the get-go around Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, I don't think it's not really the same we're running right now. I think the one we're running right now really started coming in when they made the what's the Switch game? Marvel Ultimate Alliance. Yeah. And then when they brought that back, I feel like that was a good step in the right direction.
It was. That was a fantastic fucking game.
Because the reason I'm so confident in saying that is because Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, no Wolverine. Big one, because they don't own it. They're like, oh, we don't want it. But
Magneto is just a fucking... he's just a moveset. Who cares about Magneto?
But... obviously, they didn't give a shit about Ultimate Alliance 3. Add whoever the fuck you want. So, I feel like we're in a spot where they're better. And I think Disney's not stupid in the way that, and I'm gonna talk about the game section. Shout out to Bob Iger, fuck you. But Disney's not stupid.
Yeah, Bob Iger's a cunt.
I'm positive someone in marketing saw thousands of people watching this old video game on Evo and getting excited about that. Promise you that happened. So
I don't think so.
yeah,
No, because here's the thing. They're going to see a bunch of people getting excited about that and be like, okay, that's cute. And then they're going to look at Square Enix and be like, where's Kingdom Hearts 4 at? All right, cool. And then they're going to move on.
No, but I'm saying it's not a definitive no, because I feel like someone somewhere in there has seen that, and it's going to be a mention. At the very least, I don't even understand why they don't even just re-release something, honestly.
Because again, this should have been like I am glad I do, like, as much as I him and hot about buying it, I am glad that I own this cabinet, because this is the most definitive collection of Marvel vs. Capcom. And it's a $600 fucking arcade cabinet. That's an emulation-based arcade cabinet.
Sick cabinet, though.
It's a sick cabinet. It's a great collection of games, but like a $600 emulation-based cabinet is the most definitive collection for Marvel vs. Capcom.
It's super sick, though.
It's super sick, but like that should not be the case. This, fuck it. You know what? Honestly, genuinely, guarantee
Bob
you,
Iger fight David right now. You won't.
I will fucking beat his ass. Let's go. But no, genuinely, put this collection on fucking Series X and PS5. I guarantee, even if you slap $70 on the fucking box price, fucking right away, sold out. Let's go. But this is what we get, because it's a toy. That is literally part of the agreement that happened with Disney. This is classified as a toy.
I use that again on Twitter, because someone's like, why can they keep releasing this but not put the game out? I said, because it's a toy. And someone's probably, all video games are toys. I'm like, no, it's a literal toy.
But I genuinely think that Infinite, again, that mentality of one from more of an Eastern development standpoint, oh god, I guess no one's interested, move away from it. Because yes, the core hardcore base that wants Marvel is not the same as the casual base that's going to continue to support and buy the game.
Right.
And unless we had an experience where Capcom was able to go ahead and commit to doing, I mean, if they did commit to doing something where it's like, okay, the next Marvel vs. game, we're going to pitch it to fucking Disney, and we're going to say, hey, you see Street Fighter 6? We're going to do that again, but just throw in fucking Disney characters, in fucking Marvel characters. Here you go.
Marvel versus Disney versus Capcom.
Yeah, fuck it. You know, that might be the only way we technically get, like, Square in a versus Capcom game. But,
no, like,
I genuinely don't see it happening. It's the unfortunate thing. I think the closest we will ever get to another versus game is either one, we'll finally get, because they have teased it quite a bit, maybe 1 year we will get SNK versus Capcom 3, or maybe Capcom will finally give us a Capcom All-Stars proper. Fuck it. Put it in the Street Fighter 6 engine.
Capcom 2.
Fuck it. I'd be down for that 100%. Let's go.
I think. Well, here's actually the cool little like believer in me. There's never been there's never been a Marvel vs. Capcom 4. We can always do that.
True.
We can always do that. That's the cool thing. Infinite.
Everyone wants that. Literally everyone was like.
Infinite never happened.
It did happen. It was a mistake. So there's some diehard fans of Infinite, and you know what? I love that there are people that are diehard fans of Infinite. I get it, because I'm a diehard fan of Street Fighter Cross Tekken. That was a shittily handled game, but you know what? That game was a baller.
Our crew's talking about these things. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, they did the quote. People only love characters for their gameplay, which is a wild quote.
Yeah.
I could definitely see Capcom eventually bringing Darkstalkers back, mostly because the older fighting games are returning. And I feel like because of Resident Evil to be like, oh, another horror themed series.
No, absolutely not.
Here's the thing. Here's what
Darkstalkers Resurrection was proof that it's never happening.
No,
again.
yeah, I would say the biggest hindrance that a lot of older Capcom games now have is the fact that we have Exoprimal and not Dino Crisis.
Yes. And they tease that maybe one day they might do Dino Crisis DLC for Exoprimal.
I hear if you buy Rayman Origins, you'll get Beyond Good and Evil 2.
Because that's the way Capcom works. Capcom has to have some kind of guaranteed interest from the community. And I guarantee you that's part of what Exoprimal is. I guarantee you it's Capcom's weird fucking way of being like, would people even want another dinosaur game nowadays?
Oh, make it a fun action game. Maybe they'll do that, and then we can lure them in.
Exactly. Because that's Capcom. That has literally been Capcom's MO for the past 30 years.
Right.
Repeat the same thing until people don't want it, then reintroduce it in a new flavor, and if they still don't want it, well, I guess they don't want it anymore.
Right. Cal's
Also,
over here.
real quick.
What?
Oh, go ahead.
Cal's with
No,
the
you go
Cross
ahead.
Street Fighter and April with Street Fighter Cross Tekken 2. If
I would love both of those.
make Street Fighter Cross Tekken, remove the gems, you got me.
Yes, I do think that the gems were the biggest hindrance. When I would play it with friends, I just would be no gems. As for real quick, one comment we did miss. Which one is more fixable, Morgan or Aki? Morgan, because Morgan's actually a good guy. That's the kind of whole point of Morgan's journey, is that even though she is a succubus and the heir to the Makai kingdom, she just kind of wants to literally and figuratively fuck around. She just wants to have a good time. She doesn't care about all the insane politics.
She's like
she doesn't want
she's like
war.
Marissa.
Yeah. She just wants to have a good time. That's all she wants.
Hell
she just
yeah.
wants to have several wives and husbands and just have a good time.
Let Twitch chat just run wild.
And yeah, that's Morgan in a nutshell.
See, every time we talk about fighting, I just want to play. I want to play Street Fighter. Genuinely, dude. Yeah. So going back to that, yeah, I'm catching visions of just what could be. Like, I would love if like the most wealthy nerd ever saw my vision and just gave me money to make it happen, which is like, I wanna have my if I had fuck you money, like let's say I won the lottery, I first off I wouldn't announce it.
Yeah.
Second off, I would like low key just like pamper the classroom to the point where it feels good. I would make it like a speakeasy where it's like you wouldn't tell. I would be like arcade for one class and just flip that shit and the whole thing rotates in the classroom, you know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
I dude, it's just so cool. Whenever we just start talking about like fighting games, just getting those in, like getting the talks in and doing that, I'm like, ooh, let's do that, dude. And like they get so hyped when they see those bars, because it's the easy to represent it in video games, which is so fun, right? It's like just seeing those bars go down, you know what's happening, it's right there on the screen, and especially that, dude, that Tekken slowdown gets everyone. No human being on planet Earth does
So
not
fucking hype.
Yeah, no human being on planet Earth does not get hyped when they see a cool ass slowdown and you don't know who's gonna win.
Especially when some of my favorites as of the last like year or so, there's been even more slowdown clips that are just focused on some insane slowdowns, where it's like a minute long of slowdown because there's so many near misses involved in both characters trying to finish each other off. There was one I watched, I forgot to send it to you, but it was a Facebook clip from FGC Salt posting. And it was literally a minute and a half long of the same round of just them constantly going. I think it was like a Yoshimitsu versus a Asuka, of just constantly near missing each other over and over and over again.
Let's see if I can find it real quick.
I mean, this was like months ago, so it might be really hard to find. But while you're looking that up, Crazy A Pepperoni in the chat. I'm glad I have Thorgy's Arcade to catch me up on fighting game lore. I haven't checked them out. There's one really good video that I saw many moons ago that I thought was actually let me see if I can find it real quick. But it was like an hour and a half long breakdown of the Guilty Gear lore, but it was presented as like one guy with a whiteboard being an asshole trying to explain like 20 years of lore to his friends. And it was done at kind of like how you walked me through like the Halo press conferences and all the build up to each Halo game. It was kind of like that, but going through all the, you know, up to that point, every bit of Guilty Gear lore. Let me see if I can find it. Fucking A. No, not by Madman. This is fucking. It's definitely not in 14 minutes. This is like an hour and a half long. Shit, it's gonna be. I doubt I'll be able to find it again. Maybe if I searched my history. I don't know how far back YouTube's history even goes. Let's find out. Because Guilty Gear does have genuinely one of the wildest fucking lores in fighting games. Yeah, fucking YouTube's history does not go that far back.
All right, David. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. So you see, this is how we talk about the Fast and Furious name saga.
Beautiful.
We talk about Fast and Furious here, or no, sorry, it's the Fast and the Furious. We got other stuff here that are some prequels there. We talk about the name. Why do we go Too Fast, Too Furious? What happened to the? From we go to Fast and Furious? No, sorry, the Fast and Furious. But what about Presents? What happened to Presents? Why is Presents not here, but it's over here? Doesn't make any sense.
True.
Explain that to me, David.
I don't know.
Point that out for me.
I only watched the first movie and a half, so.
I ain't hanging this stuff in my classroom.
Also, I found it. It's Guilty Gear Lore 101, a PCP University lecture, and it's 3 hours. I sent it to you. But it genuinely is one of the best condensed for the time. This was posted up 5 years ago. So it's basically missing all the stuff from Xrd Rev 2 forward. But genuinely one of the best, like, in terms of everything you immediately need to know about Guilty Gear's lore for the main focus of the storyline. Goes over everything with St. Elmo's Fire, goes over everything with the Gears, goes over pretty much everything involving that man. Anything you really need to know to get caught up on Guilty Gear's lore, it goes over predominantly.
Interesting. I have not looked at this since I wrote this. My favorite part...
Please tell me you have a picture of it somewhere just in case.
Yeah, well, my friends told me I should put this in the classroom, just right behind my desk, just because it shows who I am as a person. My favorite part of this whole thing though, is just F9. I don't know why, I just love that part. All right, we gotta figure out what to do with you someday, buddy. Yeah, I'll take you to classroom tomorrow. All right. So yeah, I'm like, maybe one day we'll just turn my classroom into a fighting game haven. What else have I...
Oh, but yeah, truly, like, real quick on that thought, like, I really, if ever there was a day I had fuck you money, I'd just invest in a lot of creatives. Like, obviously, I'd make sure myself and my family was just set, and then after that, fuck it. I want to invest in creatives to do their shit. Like, fucking go.
You have $1 billion. What is the next game you fund?
Bro, if I have a fucking $1 billion.
But let's say you get one game.
I'm buying Capcom.
No, you get one game though. Let's say you have fun one game, one sequel or whatever game you wanted. What was that one?
So it doesn't matter how I go about it. I can just at least fund one game.
Let's say, how about that? Let's take away the money part. You have the ability to magically fund.
Ooh. Fuck, that's rough because there's a part of my brain that goes, do I go for the game I've always wanted, or do I go for a game that I feel like the world needs? You know what? I think if truly I could will any one game into existence.
Yep.
I think I give what the world needs over my own personal interest.
Which is
The granddaddy of fucking crossover fighters. We get Street Fighter involved. We get Tekken involved. We get SNK involved.
so
We
Smash
get
Brothers.
Mortal Kombat involved. It's basically Smash Brothers, but as a proper 2D fighter. And with like just as many fighting game representation as humanly possible.
Are you going for amount of characters or like diversity of characters?
I think it would be
Like 2-3 reps per game, or are you talking like?
I'm thinking like 5 reps.
You know what?
tops
Hold
per
up,
game.
hold up. We just discovered the last topic because I don't fuck this rest of the stuff. I don't give a shit.
I do want to talk about the line of shit, but
Sure, David. I'm loading up a Google Doc right now. This is your fighting.
all
game
right, you're
roster.
loading. All right,
David's dream fighting game roster.
oh, we're gonna really go down the rabbit hole. All right,
Okay, this is where you gotta watch it. You do the. Are you getting like? Are you going for diversity? Is like maybe one game, maybe one series?
I
is like kind of
think
niche to
that-
put one character in, or is it like you're gonna be like it's like that Smash thing? Do you have 8 Fire Emblem characters?
hold on. Let me do some math real quick.
I
let
say
me
fuck
cook.
the math. Fuck the math. Do what you're saying, and we'll talk about the math afterwards.
Okay, so 50 characters
No,
would be
no,
my
fuck-
base
fuck
roster
the math,
target.
fuck
No,
the
no. Here's the thing. I gotta figure it out.
Tell me the characters.
All right, so let
From
me.
Street Fighter.
I have to get it on paper, air quotes.
I kind of want.
as I do it.
I want to hear you think of it though, because I think
Okay.
it'd be okay. Whatever.
So let me cook. Let me cook. All right. So Street Fighter. So we're gonna have Street Fighter as
Okay.
the first representation.
Okay.
All right. So of course, when you talk about Street Fighter, there are 2 characters you always fucking have to have. It's no Street
Aki.
Fighter game crossover without Ryu and without Thunder Thighs. So we have Ryu and Chun-Li in there. Then you have to go ahead and you have to add in at least one other character that's hyper recognizable, but is not necessarily like a prominent character per se. And I'm gonna say Zangief. Zangief would fill that role right there. So that gives us 2 more characters to work with. For the next 2 characters, I want an out-of-pocket choice. I feel like
if this man does not pick a Street Fighter 3 character, you can fuck
oh
off.
no, we're picking a Street
Yeah,
Fighter
let's
3
say.
character.
Someone
and-
needs to be redeemed.
We're going
Sean.
with my homeboy because I have biases, Dudley. But I want a really out of kind of pocket character. I want someone that is not really thought about, that is within Street Fighter lore, but not often considered. Although hilariously was part of Marvel, was part of SNK versus Capcom 2, and that's Eagle. So we're gonna have Ryu, Chun-Li, Zangief, Eagle, and Dudley.
Rest in
That's
peace,
gonna be
Cammy.
our Street Fighter representation.
My
No
girl's gone.
Cammy. Trust me, I would have put Jury in there if it was purely mine, but again, I'm a man of the people. So that's what we're gonna do. Dudley is my one guilty pleasure pick for Street Fighter. Then for that, we got Mortal Kombat. So if we're doing Mortal Kombat, I'm gonna be honest, you can't have Mortal Kombat without certain characters, and you know what those characters are? It's Sub-Zero and Scorpion. You are not doing any Mortal Kombat representation without those 2 characters. And you know what? I'd argue, honestly, at this point, if you're gonna guarantee the fan base, Liu Kang really isn't important anymore. I think Raiden is next. Raiden is the next character that if you're talking Mortal Kombat, you have to have him. But then again, you have to have that kind of like fan favorite-y, kind of guilty pleasure-y pick in there. And you know what? I'm gonna go Jade. Jade is gonna be a pick in there. We need more female representation in this roster. Gotta have at least more. We gotta have a little bit more. And on that note, if you're gonna have Jade and you gotta have fan favorite characters, but you want to go a little bit more niche, you know who else we're throwing in there? Can you guess?
No.
We're gonna go ahead and throw in Natara, the vampire. All right, that's our Mortal Kombat representation. Going for actually,
Keep going.
no, we're gonna
keep
leave
going.
Natara in there. We're gonna leave her in there. Okay, so we got Street Fighter, we got Mortal Kombat. That's 10 of our 50 character roster. We got 40 more to go. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna dive into the SNK realm a little bit. We're gonna go into King of Fighters. We're gonna lump them all together, just because I don't know all about SNK. I'm gonna be honest. I am not from Central America. I don't understand SNK fighting games.
Man,
So yeah, exactly. So King of Fighters. You can't have King of Fighters without Terry Bogard. And you know who else you can't have King of Fighters without, Adrian? There's two important parts of King of Fighters that are for bad boys and girls that you can't go without.
Okay.
And that is we gotta have our favorite Kunoichi in there.
Okay.
Then after that, we don't have a lot of grappler representation right now. Zangief is kind of like our main grappler, so we're gonna throw in Raiden, a fan favorite, but still a bit more of a niche fan favorite.
How do you spell that?
Literally same thing as Raiden from Mortal Kombat, just to confuse the audience. Fuck it. And then from there, we're gonna throw in another character that is very popular, but I feel like is a little bit less chosen, and that's Ash, one of the other main characters from the King of Fighters series. They were prominent in King of Fighters
Geese
13
Howard, huh?
You know what? No,
Damn.
because we got to go a little bit controversial here. We got to go ahead and throw in the weird, odd picks. We already got Terry. We got Mai. We're gonna go ahead and throw in another deeper cut in here.
Wait. So you got that's 5 for SNK already.
No, we got 4. We have Terry, Mai, Raiden, and Ash.
All right. Ooh, I already disagree with that.
Hell yeah, you do. And now I gotta double check this character's name real quick. Like an A. Okay.
That's what he's going for, April Bro.
This is a slightly controversial pick. I'm gonna go ahead and throw this in there. So King of Fighters is all about being a crossover in and of itself of SNK properties and franchises. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw in some Metal Slug representation. And I'm gonna throw in, I had to look this up because I didn't remember her full name, and that's Filioena Jeremy, or just as we know her in Metal Slug, just Fio. F-I-O, just Fio. From Metal Slug. We're gonna throw her in there.
Ryan for SNK is an interesting pick, dude. I feel you can't have an SNK cast without Geese. He literally made it in Tekken, dude.
He made it in second, but you know what? We already have 2.
Even in
we already
Smash,
have
though,
2 of the most core.
even in Smash, it was like like a joke that he was like about to like be in there. And I'm gonna say that this, you're lacking villains.
Oh, but wait, we haven't gotten to Tekken yet.
Yeah, but you're lacking villains. Like, is there a single villain in that Street Fighter list? Nah.
Yeah, we got Raiden.
Street Fighter, I said.
We got Eagle.
Eagle's the villain?
Eagle's the villain.
All right, well, who's the villain in SNK? Is that Raiden?
No, we got no villains in SNK.
You gotta have a villain.
So you know what? Fair. All right, you got me there. We have
you have
to
to have
throw
a villain in each, because I feel like you gotta have one person be like, I want to fuck with the good characters. You know why?
You know what?
You know why? Because this is like that shit like Smash, right? Where it's like, remember in Subspace Emissary, Ganondorf and Bowser came out together and did that thing. You gotta have the villains in the story mode. The villains that I team up and fuck some shit up. Dude.
All right, you know what? You've changed my heart. We're getting rid of Ash, and we're going with the more obvious choice of Geese. We'll throw Geese Howard in there.
Thank you. Let's go.
All right. So Tekken. We gotta do
really
Tekken
quick,
now.
Really quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Anyways, I would have picked Tizok or King of Dinos, but Raiden's a good enough pick.
I love King Dino. From what little I have played of the latest King of Fighters, he is one of my mains for my teams. But it's one of those things that when I think of King of Fighters still, I think 2D King of Fighters, and Raiden is peak grappler of 2D King of Fighters. I almost threw in Mr. Karate, but I don't hate myself. So,
Yet.
all right. So Tekken. Has no limit in terms of characters that it can pick
Who
from.
of the
Such a
Mishimas
phenomenal
makes it in?
So here's where I'm going to get a little controversial.
Oh yes, you are. Let's
Oh
see it.
yes, I'm going to say
Akuma.
yes, Akuma Mishima. No, we can only have one Mishima
I
in this
agree.
storyline.
Don't say Jin.
I think we have to have one Mishima. And I think if we're doing a crossover of this magnitude, as much as he is not inherently my favorite Mishima, I
Okay.
think in terms of where Tekken is currently at this point,
I know where you're saying.
he is the Mishima we have to pick, and that's Kazuya.
Yeah, I agree. A lot of me, like in my heart, I want to put Heihachi in there,
Yeah.
but
I mean, I want Jin in there more so.
nah,
But
fuck that. I'm sorry.
Jin was like, I need to save the world. The only way to save the world is to commit genocide.
Yeah, but Kazuya is just fucking fly. Look at that fucking suit, dude. You can't. that suit just goes hard.
That suit does go hard. And he also is a sneaker collector. That was a big prominent part of his character bio in the manuals for Tekken 2, is that he was a big collector of sneakers.
Sneakerhead, and also, I want the Ryu and Kazuya Smash rematch.
Yeah. And also
And
the
Terry.
trailer for Street Fighter Cross Tekken.
And Terry's on
Yeah.
that too. He's like, what the fuck? All right, Kazuya, we put
All right.
the Mishima. We're out of the Mishima realm now.
So, speaking of families that can't fucking escape at all the Tekken franchise,
You want to?
there's another obvious... Oh, good.
Kels has his Tekken picks. You want to hear those before or after?
Yeah, let's hear his...
Tekken picks: Kazuya,
good
Sayu,
pick.
King,
Ooh.
Brian, and Marshall.
So we kind of agree to some degree. All right.
I know we're gonna pick one. Like, there's one that's happening. I'm gonna type it here, and if you don't say that this person, we're ending podcast. I swear to God.
We might agree, but it might not be to the exact extent we
I know.
agree.
There's one character.
So, next up, there's two families that can... I mean, there's a lot of families that can never fucking escape Tekken. But if we have Kazuya here, there is another character that has to be here. She had her own spin-off game, Death by Degrees, and that is Nina Williams.
Okay. I didn't know we
And this-
a spinoff.
Yes, that is a spin-off game. It's within universe, but it's its own little thing to a degree. Ah! Now here's where I actually kind of agree with Kells, but I'm gonna go into that, like, you gotta add a little bit something extra niche for the fan base.
Sorry, what was the game called again?
Death by Degrees. It was on PS2.
I've never heard of this game.
You've never seen that atrocity?
No, I'm not a PlayStation 2 guy. Remember?
Oh, fair. Yeah, no, it's a stealth beat 'em up.
What the fuck? Okay, we'll talk about this later. I want to keep going. Okay.
Yeah. So I agree that there should be a king representation here, but it shouldn't be king. It should be Armor King.
Why Armor King versus regular King?
Here's why. Again, part of what I'm doing is you gotta have something that is a recognizable character, but that's still a little bit of a deeper cut for the fans. And as much as, like, King is more recognizable, Armor King is something that's a little bit more that the fans are like, oh yeah, Armor King. Also, to Kel's point, yeah, Armor King just genuinely looks fucking cooler than King. Armor King is literally if you just made Mad Max into a wrestler.
You know, I don't disagree. It's just because we haven't had Armor King in a hot minute. King is just so currently synonymous with me in Tekken. That's why.
Fair.
Let's see. Also, by the way, we're watching. I was showing the students are getting into Tekken, And
Hell
we
yeah.
had some new students that kind of because they hang out in the classroom, but they were gone, so they wandered into my classroom and they were watching us watch Evo. So you guys ever see this new character? Show them Azucena, and then one of them goes, "I hate coffee. I'm not playing that character." I'm like, it's fair, I guess. And they're like, "Yeah, I whatever. I'm playing King anyway." I'm like, you got the same taste, huh? You like King? You're like, yeah, I watched those Evo videos of King. Lil Majin, Lil Majin. I'm like, yes,
Hell
yes,
yeah.
sir. Let's see. Who was that one dude? I forgot his name. He's from the NYC. He has shades on or whatever. I think he was DLC for 7. And Kells says Leroy Smith.
Hell yeah.
All right, sir.
Now, here's another pick I'm going to go ahead and throw in here. This is also a deeper cut, but this is also something that, again, just to throw in some more villains into the mix, we're going to throw in Ogre. I think Ogre needs to be there. And then last pick. So, again, the unfortunate thing, Tekken has so many fucking characters to throw in here. But again...
Dr. B.
Every character, every game so far has had a guilty pleasure
Gone.
pick for me. And what have I been mentioning that was missing from Tekken 7? What has been the one thing that I've said has been missing from Tekken 7?
Gone.
No, I mean, yes, Gone is missing, but
Dr.
you're
B.
close. No, we've been missing the best boxer in all of fucking Tekken. We have been missing Roger Jr. We need Roger Jr. in
I
here.
love Tekken rolling up there. Kazuya, Armor King, Ogre, and then Roger Jr. You know what? I can imagine. I can imagine like that cutscene where it's like almost like one of those like weird like the warps bring him in, right? And like it brought them in. And Roger Jr.'s happened to stumble his ass on in there. It's like fuck.
It's gotta happen.
See,
we gotta have it.
I dig the Roger Jr. I would pick Kuma. Just
Kuma almost was part of it.
I would
I
pick-
went back and forth on Kuma
I
and
would
Roger
pick Kuma.
Jr.
I would pick Kuma, but this is your game. This is your fighting game. So Roger Jr. stays in, but that would be my change. Would be Kuma.
All right, so we're 20 characters down in my
What's the next
50
game?
character roster. Next game, Soul Calibur.
Yoshimitsu.
Actually, yes, Yoshimitsu is gonna. That's why I didn't put him in the Tekken, because I want the Soul Calibur version of him there.
Okay.
I want Soul Calibur
And Link?
Yoshimitsu. No, I would love to see it, but no, we're
Spawn.
getting there. Just wait. No, we have to have Nightmare. You can't have Soul Calibur without Nightmare.
Okay.
So we got Yoshimitsu, we got Nightmare. The next up, again, you gotta have a character that is very prominent, very recognizable for the series, and I feel like
Yoda.
if you were to do a crossover with Soul Calibur and you didn't have this, the
Tubi.
Coomers would rage. Taki. You gotta have Taki.
How do you spell that? T-A-K-I? T-A-K-I?
Taki.
Tubi.
Exactly. So
I
we
would
have
love
Taki
if
in
you
there.
did like what you used it as a throwaway to put all the guest characters in.
I do have guest characters playing in here.
Oh no. Guest characters in an all fighting game roster is sacrilege, I think personally, but go off.
Oh, trust me. Just trust in my process. All right.
You're funding
so
it, so
from-
fuck it.
All right. So we got a lot of core characters in here, but there is one other character that I feel like if they weren't in here, it would be sacrilege. You know what this roster has been missing? We're missing a mimic character. We're missing a randomized character in a sense. So we're gonna put Tekken's version of it, Soul Calibur's version, but we're gonna go Soul Calibur 2, and we're gonna do Charade. So Charade, so you get one character that can randomize the whole roster as their fighting style, because you gotta have that. And then from there, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna throw in another fun character. Again, Soul Calibur has a wild breadth of interesting characters in their roster to choose from, but there is one character that I feel really should be here, because definitely in later Soul Calibur games, they were not necessarily a popular character, but a character very prominent to it, and that's Zasalamel.
What the fuck spell that?
You asked me to spell that. Give me a second. Zasalamel.
Zasalamel?
Yep.
Okay. All right.
All right, so that's our Soul Calibur representation. Next up, we have Killer Instinct. Because
Sabretooth.
what? No, not yet. You know what? Let's not fuck around here. Fulgor's in there. And we gotta have my homie Glacius. He's gonna be in there.
Arbiter.
Also, Spinal. Gotta have Spinal in there. Orchid. Orchid absolutely needs to be here. And then this is where I get a little stumped on who the 5th Killer Instinct character should be.
Well, who do you think is the face of Killer Instinct?
Fulgor. 100%.
You think so?
I think in terms of what has been over the history of Killer Instinct, the most prominent character, Fulgor. I think that definitely with the newest one that came out, they really tried to push, what the fuck's that ninja bullshit character's
Jago?
name? Yeah, Jago. I think they tried to push him
Yeah,
to be
that's what I
more
was
of like
thinking
the
for a second.
Ryu of the game.
Yeah.
So, you know what? Fair enough. We'll throw Basic Bitch in there. We'll throw Jago in there.
I would say Sabretooth would be fun. Sabretooth versus
Even-
Roger Jr.? I see Jago just because standard, you know. Let's see. Sadako says Crazy Air Party.
I almost threw them in. All right, so we're 30 characters in.
So you put Jago in?
Yeah, I did. I did throw Jago in.
My boy Sabretooth. All right, another time. DLC. Each character gets one DLC character somewhere down the line.
That's right. So next up, again, because it's me being able to go ahead and do this, we're gonna have the versus Marvel characters. We need Marvel representation. Marvel gets its own category.
That's wild.
Marvel gets its own category. It has such. It has just as long, if not
sense.
longer.
It makes sense. But
and you know,
hold on.
go ahead.
Does Marvel and Capcom get its own?
Yes, they're
Okay,
separate.
I see where you're going with this.
Yeah.
All right.
So when we think Marvel, baby, who was the progenitor of the curly mustache? Who was fucking Pringles? That is Mag fucking Nito.
Everyone really wanted him for his moveset.
It's true. That's the only thing people wanted him for was his moveset. But Mag fucking Nito, Magnus has to be absolutely in there. We're gonna go ahead
with A Peroni about the Killer Instinct thing, though, saying you got to get the old and new blood in there.
Yeah, that's why we got a mixture in there. Actually, no. To be fair, a lot of mine is retro. Fuck.
For
A lot
Marvel,
of mine is retro. No, for Killer Instinct. Unless he's talking about specifically Marvel.
Killer Instinct.
Okay. So if he's talking about Killer Instinct, I do have a lot of retro stuff in there, unfortunately.
We can go back. and
Maybe
look at it in
we
a second.
do replace Orchid with the Sadako version character. But anyways,
Orchid with
no,
Sadako?
we're staying committed. No, we're staying committed. Fuck it, we're staying the course.
Well, how about this?
Killer
We do it-
Instinct is pure throw.
Let's make everything, and then we'll look back and just take a look.
Fair.
Take a meander look. Okay, so
All right.
Marvel.
Yeah, we're in Marvel, baby. And the next Marvel character, a character that hasn't been seen since Marvel 2, and is one of the other most prominently known fucking characters for goddamn Marvel. You never give up with this man, and that's Cyclops. Next up on this list, we have more picks to go. fucking crazy A pepperoni reading my goddamn brain right there. Because Marvel has some Marvel unique and exclusive fucking characters that have not returned since Marvel vs. Capcom 2. And you know who needs it the most? My boy Amingo. Amingo does need to come back. We need my boy Amingo.
Amigo comes back for the ultimate fighting game crossover, but not
He needs to be
not
there.
3 or Infinite.
Absolutely. No, he needs to be here for this. And then, you know what this roster is still missing? We are still missing a very near and dear character to Marvel's history, and that is Storm. Gotta have fucking Storm in here. And
Last
that
pick.
brings us to our last pick for Marvel. Adrian, we've talked about Marvel a lot.
Have we?
I think, I mean, I feel like over the years we've
Decent
talked
amount,
a lot
decent
about the
amount.
Marvel films. We've talked about a decent amount.
Ant-Man.
Yes, Ant-Man. No, you gotta know my favorite Marvel.
Is
villain
Ant-Man
at this
in the
point,
Marvel
right?
vs. Capcom games?
Technically, yes, through Hawkeye's level 3.
The fuck?
Hawkeye's level 3 is he fires an arrow, Ant-Man's on it, and then goes giant and stomps the opponent.
But there's no Ant-Man anywhere.
Yeah.
Fucking weird. All right. Go ahead. Sorry.
You gotta know by now my favorite Marvel villain, right?
No. Oh, Doctor Doom.
Doctor Doom it is,
Yeah.
indeed. Doom!
Okay. But now Capcom.
Alright. Just wait. So let me do 5, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Wait, no, that can't be right. 35. Okay, so 35. So
Did you just
we're
miscount
gonna-
35 for 50?
Yeah, I did somehow.
So-
So this is going to be the category where I'm going to go ahead and throw in the miscellaneous versus characters. So these are characters that weren't inherently fighting game characters, but were made fighting game characters
Sure,
as
like
part
Phoenix
of
Wright.
various. Exactly. And you just started it off with one who has to be in there. My homeboy, Phoenix Wright.
Gotta put all these bad guys in jail.
That's right. Then after that, we got to have my homeboy Strider. Strider has to be there.
Okay.
All right. And then after that, we have to go legacy. We have to go classic. We have to go the original assist character, Captain Commando. Then after that,
I'm gonna say
A char-
we're missing like the front man of Capcom. I feel like no one's
I
front
mean,
man.
I-
This.
I'm curious what you think that front man is.
No, but I'm just saying in
but-
general. I think we're not missing a front man. Like we're missing like you look at Marvel. Like okay, like Doctor Doom can hold the front of that. Everyone knows Doctor Doom. Look at like Killer Instinct. Sure, you got Fulgur. Look at like everyone has that like Kazuya, fucking Ryu, Terry, Sub-Zero, Scorpion. Who like what? As much as I love Phoenix Wright, what's the first character that comes to you like, when you think Capcom right out the gate? Out the gate.
I mean, Ryu.
Like obviously with miscellaneous stuff though, like I could think of like right off the bat what I think.
What do you think right off the bat? I'm curious.
I'm thinking something like Resident Evil.
Resident Evil is a good fucking choice. And I did have a Resident Evil pick as the last one I was going to save.
Okay, so let's hear the next one then.
All right, so my next one is, again, I had to go ahead and pick a guilty pleasure character for me. Everyone loves Mega Man representation. It's not the Mega Man representation that most people want necessarily, but it's Mega Man representation. It's fucking Servbot. We gotta have Servbot in there.
That's stupid. Honestly, I would.
This is my list. Fuck
I
off.
would have been content actually if you went Mega Man, but yeah, that's a dates me enough. All right, what's your?
We don't get Mega Man anymore in versus games. It's fine.
All right, so what's your Resident Evil pick?
We gotta have Wesker.
Yeah, you need a villain of the Capcom. That's fine. That's fine.
We need a villain, and we need
I-
one that's also like the stalwart gonna fuck shit up the most. Wesker's gonna do that. Of the characters used for crossovers, I mean,
let me
Mega Man
look at
technically
that.
is.
Yeah, let me look at that. Hold on, I want to look at this Marvel vs. Capcom. Jesus.
Because I refuse to put Zero. No crossover game of mine will have fucking Zero May Cry shenanigans.
That'll be its own category. Pepperoni.
Yeah, Darkstalkers is actually the next category.
Okay. So we have that. Okay, if you're not gonna put Mega Man, I get that. That's fine. You want to have your silly little pick. At that point, don't you feel like Dante or someone kind of just coming out a little flashy on that end, and looking like, well, Strider's kind of filling that role, I guess.
I went back and forth on putting Dante in there because I do feel that Dante should be in there. But the problem is that Capcom has such a massive history that without filling this game with Capcom characters, which we're already kind of doing by adding in essentially 3 fucking game categories for Capcom, it's really hard to do.
Because I just feel like, at least with this, there's just no, like, even Wesker, like, I'm trying to think of who, like, I'm like, damn, that's Capcom. Like, okay, I want the Kazuya feel with this.
All
We
right,
need someone,
so
we
you
need
know
some-
what?
we need someone leading the charge, right? And, like, if these 5 are together, who's leading that, right?
All right,
let's
you
say
know what?
4. Let's say 4. You got Servbot, Captain Commando, Phoenix, right? It's a little goofy. If you know, and I get that Marvel's Capcom, the Capcom side can be kind of goofy, but, like, it's a little bit too silly. And
All
the
right,
thing is that when we're knowing that, it's kind of goofy, and I say that endearingly because these are so cool characters. But like, bro, Marvel's rolling up with Magneto, fucking Storm, and Doctor Doom, and then Capcom's rolling up with Phoenix Wright, Servbot, Captain. Come on, like, you gotta like. I feel like at some you gotta. Okay, hold up. Let me,
No, you
Okay.
brought up a good point. Most of the cast has like one Jokish character in there, whereas the versus Capcom does have 2 Jokish characters in there. You bring up a good point.
it's all about balance, dude.
It is all about balance. So if I had to go
I would
back
tell
and
you
forth
what I would
on,
do, but
I'm gonna go against my heart. I'm gonna keep Phoenix Wright in there, get rid of Servbot, and I think I am gonna listen to you here and say that Dante must be here.
Okay, because it was one of 2 things I was doing. It was either Dante or X. Because X can roll up there. X can roll up. You see X
Yeah.
there, you're like, X can roll up. See Dante there, Dante can roll up too. You need someone that's like, we're gonna hold this shit down. We're gonna hold this forward. Because like I'm trying
I
to
mean,
think.
in Infinite, they had Dante on the same level as Captain Marvel.
Sure.
So
And that's fine. I'm totally cool with that. But I'm saying, like, because you got to imagine, because here's the thing. If this podcast wanted to go an extra hour, I'd say, what's our story? Because here's what I'm saying. When you have it, it's eventually going to be, right? It's going to be like all the villains do that. And then we're going to get some super villain, right? That's going to fuck shit up. And like each of these groups has to hold down their own shit, which is going to be cool, right? You got the villains going to work with the villains and them got to work with their own crew, right? Someone's got to hold that shit together. And like when it's like,
I gotta pee real quick, but
Go ahead.
honestly, I could come up with that. So I gotta pee real quick, but I can guarantee you, if you want it to go longer, I can give you a story.
because I'll mention this again, but like, who's standing up to Wesker, right? Like, everyone's a little goofy there. So I mean, like, we gotta do that. And I get now I'm like, yeah, I can see those. That's fine. We're good with that. So we're rolling. I like this idea though. So far so good. That was David messaging me. Yeah, I'm into this. I want more crossover stuff. Crossover fun is stuff is just so fun. See, my white whale is in Marvel Snap right now. Actually, it's not. I've been waiting for months to see. What is it? The art germ version of White Queen, and she just doesn't show up anymore, and it's saddening to me. Unfortunately, so. I saw it once back in like February, and that's it. This Ant-Man one's cool though. If I had the money for that one, I would do that. But I am not of coins right now. Oh, that Ghost Spider's sick. Pixel variants are not the move. Anyway, hope everyone's having a good night so far. I like doing a side tangent. This is fun. I've been in like such an FGC mood that I'm like, let's talk more. That's fine. I still want to play Marvel's Capcom Infinite and see what the story is there. It looked alright, at least. To me.
You coming, or are you just gonna wolf out there? Alright, you're just gonna wolf out there.
Yes, sir. Big ass loaf.
Alright. Darkstalkers, next to last category of characters. So, here's the thing. With Darkstalkers, again, phenomenal amount of characters to choose from. There's definitely some you kind of have to
I wonder
have.
who's the top one.
Morgan. Specifically post-Lilith Fusion Morgan.
Okay.
So that way you still get that little nod to Lilith in there.
And are the titties there?
All the titties are there.
Wonderful.
Then to get the other obvious one out of the way, Jeddah. You have to have Jeddah. Another character that I feel like should be here that doesn't, oddly, weirdly enough, get enough representation, despite the fact that, aside from Jeddah, he is one of the most consistent villains in the series, is Dimitri. Dimitri should absolutely be there.
Let's see. For this, you gotta add John Talwayne in there for Darkstalkers. I'm kind of stealing Essenburger's Arcade, but he doesn't get enough love in the crossover material. And then April says, I do agree you got to have at least one or two characters that can go up against someone like Wesker or Ogre. Yeah, so I kind of mentioned that as you walked away, where that was kind of my issue with that. So, like, if we look back at the Capcom thing for a second, I know we're good at it now, but, like, Phoenix Wright, Strider, Captain Commando, and we had the Surfbot, and then Wesker. Like, Strider's probably the only one stepping up to Wesker, and it's like, it's not equal. You got to... Dante's the one that's not gonna take that shit. He's like,
Dante takes no shit. That's fair.
So
he also has the power to back up not taking.
Someone's got to back that shit up, right? And like if we're talking like on, for example, my go-to, like, even if you look at like strength wise, who cares? But like, we're talking like Armor King walking up to Ogre is still going to look badass to me.
You know what? In that case, then I do have to make one amendment.
We'll make amendments after. Make an asterisk. We'll come back at the end and mention it.
We'll come back to it, but I do have to make an amendment to the.
It's something we'll consider as we're going on. We'll consider.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
We're at
so
Dimitri,
then next, yeah. So Morgan, Jada, Dimitri. We do kind of have to have that kind of slightly goofier character in here because every roster has some kind of goofier character in there. There's quite a few to choose from in Darkstalkers. The one that I feel like belongs here the most, though, is Anacris. The last time he got representation was Marvel vs. Capcom 2, but I do feel that he fits the plate correctly. To Abe Pepperoni's point, I do agree that John Talbane doesn't get enough representation in the crossover materials. However, there is someone that equally does not get it.
Spell that character you just put up.
Anacris?
Yeah.
Anakaris, as I'm pretty sure how it's spelled.
Okay. Tell us this represent.
There's another character that is a very prominent hero character in Darkstalkers that also weirdly equally doesn't get enough representation in the crossover stuff, and that's Donovan.
All right. Rapture would be a good character to choose today, for
Oh, I wanted to put Lord Raptor. If we were doing more than if we were doing 7 characters per game, 100%
DLC
Lord Raptor
maybe.
would have been there.
We had that one book.
DLC.
Maybe I want to come back. Maybe we come back to this list after a week when we sleep on it for a bit, and then you come back and you add one DLC character to each one.
All right, so this is where we get to the last 5 characters. These
Smash.
5 characters are the guest category. So these are characters that had to have been in some
Blaze
kind
Blue?
of fighting game. No, because I wanted to do Blaze Blue to a degree, and I wanted to do Guilty Gear. But if I did Guilty Gear, I would have had to have taken out one of the Capcom sections. Which I do think that honestly we're kind of Capcom heavy. And
Fuck the number, dude. This is literally the Dream Fighter. Why we capping
all right,
it
Dream Fighter, fuck it.
Yeah,
Fuck it.
why we
All right,
capping it at
I
fucking
was
50?
trying to like actually project manage this in my brain.
No, you got.
So fuck
you got
it, Guilty
you
Gear.
money.
All right, next up is Guilty Gear.
Let's go.
All right, fuck it, let's go.
You know what happened? You know what just happened right now? Is you're showing off this game, and you know what? Instead of like who's fighting, what game is joining the roster, and this is where you got the fuck. This is when the Guilty Gear music started kicking in, and everyone's like, because you're watching right now, you're watching I don't know, fuck it, you're watching Nightmare and fucking Raiden go out at it one on one, and then this is where you hear the fucking Guilty Gear music come in, and that's where you get this, David. This is where you get hyped up. Smash has had its moment. What gets you hyped up in this kind? It's kind of like we've done the guest characters. The guest characters are gonna get crazy. What's the next series that's jumping in this? That's how you fucking get it right now, right?
So in that case, then I got a few more fighting game series we can throw in here. So if we're going just pure balls to the wall, so Guilty Gear. Guilty Gear is getting 5 reps here. You can't have Guilty Gear without Mr. Bad Guy himself, Soul Bad Guy.
I have one more thing to mention after you're done with Blaze Blue and Guilty Gear.
And then we can't have Soul Bad Guy without his eternal frenemy / son-in-law, Kai Kiske.
Spell that.
K-Y space K-I-S-K-E.
Okay.
Or maybe it's K-Y-S-K. I don't remember. He's not one of my mains. And then from there, female representation, plus you gotta have a villainous character in there. You gotta have Eno.
Spell that.
I-N-O.
Okay.
Alright. And it's me. I'm gonna have a guilty pleasure pick in here because fuck you, this is my game. My main gets into this if we're talking Guilty Gear, and that's Faust. We're not having a Guilty Gear representation without Faust.
Okay.
Last pick for Guilty Gear. This is an absolute banger fucking roster already, but I do think we need some newer representation in here because we have a lot of legacy characters. So I think I would have to save as much as I want to throw in another character that I really adore in here. We need some newer representation. So we're going to go with my secondary character and put Ramathal in there.
Spell the fuck out of that. What the fuck? Spell that.
Alright, let me pull up the spelling. I want to make sure it's accurate. R-A-M-L-E-T-H-A-L. Ramothal Valentine.
Okay. I need to play
Alright.
Guilty Gear. It's about time. Anyway, Blaze Blue.
I fucking adore Guilty Gear. I'm watching it, less so playing. I'm trash at playing Guilty Gear.
Maybe we both learn this, David.
Alright, maybe not. I've been playing Guilty Gear for 20 years and I'm still trash at it, so...
Yeah, but you know what? That'd be fun if we can actually play a fighting game where we're both even out the gate.
That's true. So, next up, Blaze Blue. You must have Ragna the Blood Edge.
What the fuck you just call me?
R-A-G-N-A.
Ragna, okay.
the Blood Edge.
Okay. Is Blood Edge one or two words? One word?
One word.
Yep. Okay.
And then we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna throw in my main from there as well, who is also hyper plot relevant, Noel Vermillion.
Okay.
Then we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna throw in. Oh man, there's so many fucking good options here for characters. I think. Oh man, which version do we put in? Fuck, which one? Oh man, I think we have to put Terumi in here. I think that's the version we have to put in there. Very prominent villain in the series. Has a couple different names that he goes by in forms. But I think that's specifically the version we have to put in here. Fuck. Oh man, there's so many good options for BlazBlue as well. But again, we gotta have kind of a gaggy character. Faust was also my gaggy character for Guilty Gear. And I think when it comes to kind of more gaggy kind of characters, you have to have Bang. Bang has to be the kind of more gaggy-ish character that is running this. But you know what? I'm looking at this roster, and there's a character archetype that we have a severe underrepresentation of, and that's puppeteering characters. So I think we do need a puppeteer character in here. Oh man, which one do I go with? Oh man, do I go with Carl or do I go with... I kind of want to go a little bit more villain heavy. So I'm going to go with Relius Clover. You need the spelling for that?
I got it.
So I'm going to do that. And that's for two reasons. There's also a secondary reason I want Relius in there. So secondary reason is, one, I do think that there needs to be a puppeteer kind of character, because that's another fun kind of archetype in fighting games that we don't have representation for in here, really. And two, because then we have two Midnight Bliss characters. We have Dimitri, and now we have Relius, who have kind of like sexy time kind of finishers that turn the cast female. So having a second character that can do that just adds some spice to the roster. Why not?
Okay.
Speaking
David?
of adding spice, yo, go ahead.
Okay. Here's where I derail things or
All right.
or enhance things.
Beautiful. All right, go for it.
Dragon Ball Fighters.
I would have put that more so in a guest category than I would in outright its own category.
Skullgirls.
Skullgirls, I think they deserve their own category.
Okay, let's do it.
All right, so let's do it. Skullgirls.
I could see
All right,
Dragon Ball
so-
Fighters being its own. I think it's so tag heavy though that I don't know if it's necessary. Well, let's do Skullgirls.
I mean, Dragon Ball has a long history of fighting games,
okay, so
even beyond that.
maybe it does, but maybe it does. We'll see. I say let's do Skullgirls.
All right. I mean, there's Dragon Ball fighting games dating back to the Super
And
Nintendo.
then it's
so,
not like
I
you want to
mean,
do another spot there. Maybe they gave you hear Dragon Ball music all of a sudden happening. I was like, what the fuck?
play your cards right, maybe. All right, so Skullgirls. This one's a little harder to think
Peacock
about.
says
I think it
Aperbrony.
needs to have Parasol. What did Aperbrony say?
Peacock.
Yeah, I think Peacock is a good pick too. Peacock, Parasol.
Who's your bad guy?
You gotta have double in there.
Is that just double as regular spelled?
Especially where we don't have Shang Tsung for Mortal Kombat. That kind of fills that role of that kind of Shang Tsung-esque character.
I want who's the musician dude?
Big Band. Yes, we have to have Big Band.
All right, last spot.
You know, we already have one of my mains in here. We have to throw in my other main for Skullgirls in here because she's also one of the joke characters, and that's Miss Fortune.
Okay. Peacock and Mid-Bang is already a win in his books, Dave Peroni.
That's fair. I mean, they're based fucking characters.
All right, David.
All right, next up, the next fighting game I actually had in mind for this. And the way I would have to do this is I would say that it has to kind of be based around their canonical pairings, and that's going to be Arcana Heart. Arcana Heart gets its own representation. And we're going to get Heart as our first character in there.
Okay.
And then if we're getting Heart, we're going to have her frenemy Saki in there.
Okay.
And then, because I mentioned puppeteering characters, we got to add the puppeteering master from the series, Lisa Lett.
Lisa.
You can spell it for that?
Yeah.
All right, that is Lieselotte.
Okay.
Then after that, we got to have the main villain of the series, Mildred. In her prime form, though, not in her like child reincarnated form.
Okay.
I want her in her prime form for this one. And then I
can imagine you telling the director or the designers this in her prime form, none of that fucking modern baby form shit.
100%. And then I think we do need to have some of the newer characters in there as well. You know what? I'm a sucker for a character with a good pile bunker, so we're gonna go with Xenia.
Zenia.
Zenia.
Okay. David, is that it?
Or
do we give, or you nudge it over with Dragon Ball and let that be the tail end?
I mean, here's the thing: is I've kind of been thinking of like, how deep down the rabbit hole do we go? Because there are other phenomenal fighting game series that have been lost to time at this point. That this could be their resurrection. You know, we haven't had a bloody roar in a long time.
Let's take a step back now. So we're at 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 65 characters.
Yeah.
How do you feel with that?
I mean, I think that's fucking massive.
Uh,
I think at that point, that would be the largest release roster in any fighting game.
let's see. Yeah, and you know what? You know what's fucking wild is Smash is at 86. Actually, so I want to go back. What was this addendum you had? You had an addendum to the roster. Let's look back at the roster now. As before we start diving even deeper, I think DBZ is really the next if we ever do anything part because that's prominent and still of relevance. But
I mean, I still think there's some other big hitters we're missing in
like
here.
what?
Like Dead or Alive, Bloody Roar.
Dead or Alive I could see too. But let's go back. Oh, for like one more to even out, even 70 says April Brony. You also what happened to your
70?
guest? Your guest.
Yeah, we'll make the even 70 the guest characters.
And then maybe the game does well. Dead or Alive is next.
That's true, because we gotta save some series for DLC as well.
God, can you imagine that's literally next level where it's not just like how people want Sora in, how many of the fucking Dead or Alive fans want in on this? That's
oh, they would.
Yeah, like imagine like a whole fan base is fucking fever for this dude.
All right. So as mentioned, these are characters that have had a fighting game appearance, but are not inherently fighting game characters per se.
Are you going before you do this? Are you going like one guest per those games, or is it?
Yes,
okay.
one guest per that series.
Okay.
So you kind of read my mind a little bit. To borrow from Soul Calibur's guest list, Oh, we gotta have 2B in there.
2B would be fucking sick. I'm popping off. I'm in.
100%. We have to have 2B in there.
Or not to be.
Exactly. And then from there,
Darth
I think
Vader.
just because of what it
Nah, that's
is,
right.
looking at the massive guest roster.
Hey, Pepper. Oh. We did mess up on something.
What did we mess up on?
Injustice.
I personally ignored it. for
I
one
meant
reason.
was it a TMNT character?
That is actually what I was gonna get into in a little bit, but we'll talk about it now. So Injustice had a rather large guest character roster. And I think that out of all the guest characters and I'm kind of combining Injustice and Mortal Kombat in here a little bit. But looking at all the guest characters that NetherRealm Studios has brought in, there's one character that I think is probably in a game like this, one of the more hype ones to see in a big crossover like this. Hellboy.
I can see that. All right, so when's Negan?
Negan is never happening, is the answer there.
If I kind of want to add a TMNT baddie. That'd be cool.
DLC is going to be original.
I
guest
say
characters.
if I kind of want to think about this. This list is fun. I would love David to come back and he only gets one extra character per series. That's it.
Oh, man.
Also, a person
Alright.
when we go back in a second, consider Old Blood and New Blood when coming back to the roster.
That's fair. Next up for guest characters. Oh man. So looking at the list of characters we hear, go ahead.
I have a suggestion you're gonna really fucking hate when we start this over.
Go
in
for
a
it.
second. No, when we come back.
All right. So, looking at the history of Smash characters and all the guest characters they've had in
Noctis.
there, I think that in terms of the wild roster we have here, all the characters that could kind of rock this situation, I think that in
Akuma.
terms of just pure, yes, Akuma in here. No, I think that the only way we could go ahead and have like a hearty quasi Smash representation in here, while both adding the hype factor and adding in the all right, I can kind of see it factor, is we got to go tactical. We got to add Snake in here.
You're pulling Snake from Smash?
Yeah, I'm pulling Snake from Smash.
I don't agree with that. I think we're going unless we're adding Smash in here. I think we can't be touching that, dude.
No, because
I know.
we're specifically the guest character. That's the weird limitation I put on myself.
I
here.
get that, but like how you'd have to. It's different Snake, right? Because you have to like he's jumping
All
around.
right, you know
doing all
what?
this.
Fair. You know what? You bring up an excellent point. We need still 2B and Hellboy can hold their own, but we do need someone that can effectively go Super Saiyan on
We had a
this
Hellboy
list.
crazy for money.
We need to have Sonic on here then.
From what?
He's a guest character in Smash.
But see, here's what I'm saying logistically, because like logistically it breaks up, because you're redefining the whole character at that point. If you're putting a actual Smash character into a 2D fighter, they're not gonna operate the way they're playing in Smash. Therefore, taking away the essence of the character.
We're talking about so many characters that have been either in.
And I get the 3D fighter one. I get that, but we get adapted.
Yeah.
Street Fighter Cross Tekken did that, but we're talking
Fair.
like what Sonic Spring? Are we gonna have Sonic Spring up in the air for no reason?
No, you know what? Sonic was in Sonic the Fighters.
No, I disagree, David. We can't. We're going too off the rails. We got to
All
keep
right.
it somewhere like in the realm of convertible into there.
I mean,
And
if you
transfer it
think
into-
that's too off the rails, just wait until my
off the
joke
Raiders,
pick.
I mean, off the Raiders into like we're platform fighters. It's not even like the meme of it. I think this is the fighting game collective, right? Like this is the one that the FGC and they've all unified, banded on. They've all played this. It's universal, I'd say, right? Like even though like we're even like 2D and 3D fighters, I feel like there's a crossover, there's a universal feeling there.
Okay, so if we're going that way, I'm gonna pick a character that was their own fighting game character that is from a series not represented on this list, but is getting onto this list by virtue of technically being in Smash.
Let's see where you're going at with this.
I'm going with Akira from Virtua Fighter.
Oh, because you're not having Virtual Fighter in here?
Yeah.
I mean, I get that.
Maybe as DLC. Maybe play your cards right and you might get Virtua Fighter DLC.
Isn't that the main person from Virtual Fighter?
Yeah.
You wouldn't want to save that for like a whole 5-person thing?
I mean, Pi and Sarah and Jackie are also very prominent characters from that series.
I mean, technically, yeah, Hironi's right. You could put Link in there.
That's right, because he was a guest character.
Link,
you know
Link
what?
is
you
viable.
two have swayed me. We're removing Akira, and we're putting Link.
Link does.
Link
can fit.
Link is in there. You two have swayed me.
Now let's see.
But now we still need our joke character.
Gone.
That has no. You know what we need?
Yoda. No, he's already still.
So
talking.
there was this fighting game on the Saturn called Fighters Mega Mix.
You keep going with this thing. I thought we were going like just the games that we had, where you're going with.
No. We
there.
gotta pull deep. We gotta have some deep pulls in here.
As long as it's not like as long as it's a 2D fighter or even like a 3D fighter that's in the realm of.
It's a 3D fighting game.
Go with what you need,
basically
David.
built. It was basically built on the Virtua Fighter engine.
Okay.
This was Sega's own internal fighting game crossover called Fighters Mega Mix, and our guest characters need the joke character they deserve, and this character comes from that. And that is Hornet the car representing Daytona, USA.
Everyone's excited to get see some random character call. There's Link. Here's fucking Hellboy. Here's 2B. There's Daytona.
Here's a car that boxes.
Dude, this is probably top or Combat Smash the biggest crossover. We're tickling the balls of Smash right now at this point.
All right.
All right.
So-
all right. I have plenty of picks for this last spot.
This last spot is tough.
This last spot is tough, but like I have one game at this point that we should not be ignoring in terms of like who gets in guest character wise. This should have been your
I have my last pick.
How in the
So
world?
I go ahead.
Your role is one jokey character, and I get that. The car is funny. How do we not pick the jokiest meme of all video games? Who is
Steve?
in a fighting game? I'm David.
I mean, Rash is a good option.
It's a fucking Battletoad.
It is a battle
in the fighting game. If you're not gonna do with that, you put Arbiter in there or General Ram in there, and you're getting like more layers of crossover. You got FPS or shooters in this fucking game, David.
No, here's
Wesker's
the
already
thing.
in it, Bernie.
Yeah, Wesker's already in it. Here's the thing. This is probably the most recent character to be revealed on this list. They haven't, as of recording, they have still not debuted in the game they're gonna be in.
Putting Omni-Man?
Putting Omni-Man in there.
Okay, so here's where I'm at. Rash is like I said, my joke character, because Rash goes in, dude. I love it. I'm gonna fight you on just one though.
All right, so let's go through it a little bit then, because I do have some tweaks I would make.
Let's tweak.
Here.
I'm gonna come back. I'll let you settle on this guest thing, and I'm sure I'm gonna fight you on one, but we'll talk about it. All right, let's go Street
All right.
Fighter.
So starting with Street Fighter,
All right. Tell me what
I gotta
you're
get rid
gonna
of Eagle.
Okay, thank you. But I have a suggestion. I don't know if you're gonna like it. But the fact that you got rid of Eagle, that's the biggest first step.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm gonna say in replacement for this?
I went back and forth between Bison and Akuma because Street Fighter is missing a strong villain representation.
No, right? Well, here's the issue. You're missing that literally old blood, new blood. Who's our new villain?
That's a good question. Who is our new villain?
He's a whole different fighting style. He's a zoner. You got that swagger to him.
I mean, we can't even make the argument that he's a villain. He kind of does fuck all the like
he's got the
he
villain.
runs a shitty tournament.
He's got the villainy, like that's where he's going, but also zoner playstyle. Do we have a lot of zoners in here?
We got a few, but not a tremendous amount. No, so that's a good point. So for the sake of playstyle variety, yeah, putting JP in here is probably.
And I think just because new, also brand new character.
Yeah. Brand new character. That's fair.
Okay, I was the one I thought you were gonna fight me on pretty hard. Jury,
no,
Jury.
I think
David. It hurts to not have Jury on here. Like David.
I agree. I adore Jury. She is one of my ever since her introduction in Street Fighter 4. She's been one of my favorite Street Fighter characters. I wish that she could play like her peak version again. But
imagine a world where you put Street Fighter 4 Jury instead of Chun-Li. I'm just saying, you know.
I would love that.
It's your game.
I mean, here's the thing. But again, I am a man of the people as much as I am.
Hey, next week we got each game gets one DLC. David, think about it.
All right, I'll think about it. So yeah, I think that for base roster ends it for Street Fighter for me.
Yeah.
For Mortal Kombat, I do think that we need a little bit more representation of villains per se in here. I don't want to go hard classic villain though. Nitara is a good option for that weird niche pick, but that is a little out of left field. So I think if we want a more niche villain, but still staking to a really strong, prominent villain, we got to have Onaga.
Okay.
After that, in King of Fighters, it's one of those things that Fio is in there as a guilty pleasure pick. She's purely there just because I want her to be. There are a ton of other iconic King of Fighters characters that could easily fill that role. I think as much as I do want her to be there, I think having Raiden there as like a little bit more of a deeper cut character fills that same role. And you know what? I need to do right by Mexico because no one else will. And you know who fucking Mexico loves when it comes to King of Fighters?
Tell me.
Angel.
And we're replacing who?
We're replacing Fio with Angel. It doesn't feel right to not have her in there.
I only have one suggestion with Tekken, otherwise it's actually no. I don't think we balanced new blood versus old blood in Tekken.
You know, you have an excellent point. This is a lot of like Tekken 3 back characters.
Yeah.
So we do need some new blood in here. So I think we get rid of Nina, honestly. I think we do get rid of her.
Well, it depends who you replace then. Because here's the issue you're having. I think we need some girl representatives just consistently.
Everyone aside from actually hilariously enough, Capcom has at least one female.
But I'm saying, but like if you get rid of Tekken's character, like I feel like we should aim for like that too.
Fair.
So here's what. Okay, well, let me look at the new roster because it's been a hot minute.
You know what? I would replace Nina with the what was her name? She was DLC for she was a Sweden rep. The one that used Wing Chun that was a police officer. She was like one of the last rounds of DLC for Tekken 7. She actually had a really cool style, but
Hold on. Hold.
I'm holding.
Okay. No. This is all wrong. Okay. I'm conflicted. I don't want to get rid of Nina.
She's so iconic to the Tekken. All right, so let's say Kazuya and Nina have to be there.
Okay. What?
Let's say that Kazuya and Nina have to be there, but the last three are flexible.
King is fucking amazing. King is the people's champ. Ogre and Roger, we need the jokey, but Ogre needs to be villain, but we don't, I don't know. Who's that one tech chick who's the daughter? Here's the thing. I know who I'm adding. This is tough. Okay. I have to get rid of Nina, I guess. I can't think of it. I don't want to. This is sacrilege.
Okay.
But I'm gonna say because Kazuya and King are kind of like Tekken characters, I feel like. Okay. David. I have
Kasumi.
I have a coffee queen in mind.
Oh, our new main.
This is our new blood. You can't get newer than not even out yet, David.
That's true, and I did set the precedent by putting Omni-Man
Azucena is gonna be in there. It was one of the most dope movesets I've seen outside of there. She's gonna be annoying as fuck to fight, so that's why I'm maining her. Cause fuck it, if you can't beat him, join him. Everyone loves her, and my wife.
Yeah, 100%. Like
That
any
is
character that
new
makes
blood.
me finally drop Asuka and Lily, 100%.
Literally, blood does not get more fresh than not even out of the fucking skin. Julia,
right.
I think it was her name. Yeah, Julia. I was looking at, but it's Tekken 3 as well.
Yeah.
She's kind of got a makeover in this new one, which kind of made her feel fresh. But Julia was one of my mains. It was Eddie and Julia were my characters in Tekken. Fuck, that hurts. I need Nina in there, which is like, hold on. I need to look at this for a second.
Yeah, I'm looking at like the Tekken Legacy roster right now. Leah would be such a good choice in there too, but then we at this point we're cutting into the like villains too much.
I want Heihachi in over Ogre, but it's too much Mishima.
Yeah.
For 5 characters, if we were like at 7 characters, I'd be like, let's do it. But
yeah, 100%.
5, it's too much. You need to find that. Look, I'm gonna be okay with Ogre. I just there's no more Nina, and that's killing me. That's fucking killing me right now.
Maybe
DLC, but David, I don't agree with this Roger Jr. pick.
We have to have a gag pick. We have to have a joke character in there.
Kuma. Because what's the gag pick?
But Kuma's the obvious choice.
But
when the last time we see Roger Jr. was Tekken Tag Tournament 2.
That wasn't that long ago.
It was
the previous game. It's not the biggest deal in the world.
Yeah, but Tekken 7's been out for like 10 years. I get that,
but like in terms of iteration, it's not that big of a deal. Listen. Hold on. Look.
It's been 12 years since we've had a fucking Roger Jr.
Look, let me sway you here.
The only way you're swaying me away from Roger Jr. is if it's Alex.
No. I'm going to sway you right now. Watch that video of Panda and Kuma in the 2022 Tekken World Tournament Masters Finals and listen to that crowd cheer. Listen to that crowd cheer.
Very heated up Rangchu.
The crowd's cheering because you never see Kuma or Panda at all.
And that's a gag character going in, getting the cheers, going off. And look at, hold on, and go to 48. Go to 48.
All right.
I want you to get reminded of Panda's opener.
And as much as this stream is
Look at that panda fucking shaking, dude. That panda is excited to be part of this shit.
The world tour.
That panda is like, I am here.
The Panda
I'm in
West
finals. I'm ready to fucking play.
And as much as they
I'm winning this, dude. You know, look at that fucking panda. Look at that. Look at panda. Look at the way it looks hovering over people. Now imagine it kicking the fuck out of Morgan for no reason.
No, I'm gonna stick to my guns and say Roger
Ah,
Jr.
dude, you're crazy. Look at that. Look at that outfit.
and the bear, ladies and gentlemen, not gonna be played the
No, I gotta
You're
stick to my guns
crazy.
on this one.
You're crazy, dude.
something quite more
I
Maybe
understand.
DLC.
I understand your Roger Jr. thing. I get it, but like, you're binded too much to this whole like I need the return from something. Sometimes the good thing is there. Why do we have to let a good thing slide by?
I mean, we could get rid of Ogre for someone,
You would need,
but we're
you
not
would need
getting
a
rid of Roger
villain.
Jr.
You're crazy. You are crazy, dude. Like it's Brian Fury. I don't know anything about Tekken. That's fair. I
mean,
just-
Brian Fury almost made this list too, but again, 5 picks is so few.
The bear, ladies and gentlemen. Exactly. It's just you get that oomph. And let's be real, in the grand scheme of things, you're fighting a fucking bear. Anyone else fighting a bear is just fucking that's the ultimate gag. And guess what? This character made finals, so the gag is viable.
Good one, Roger Jr.
I'll let you sit on it and think about it, but like the Panda,
That character's not changing.
Panda was just so fucking. You know what? Let me look at the Roger Jr. intro. If it's funnier than Panda, okay, but it's not. You haven't sold me on Roger Jr. You just keep telling me Return is a return character.
I don't need to sell you on Roger Jr. It's my list.
Yeah, but well, you gotta be the people's champ on that too, though, right?
Like literally, Roger Jr.'s fucking ending here
I have-
in Tekken
I ha-
6
I
is
have-
like a divorce.
I have a possibility that I'm willing to be 100% unbiased. Promise.
Like, look at that shit. This whole ending is he's getting a divorce for cheating on his wife.
He's a scumbag too, dude. You gonna promote scumbags? I thought you were against that.
Look at him. Look at this ending. This is the greatest of fucking gag endings.
But he's a scumbag. You like scumbags now? You like
We
cheaters?
have villains. We have literal genocidal
You like-
maniacs.
Yeah, those people are sick in the head. You like cheaters? I'll tell you this. Tomorrow, I'm gonna quiz the students 100% unbiased. Say who's funnier, Roger Jr. or Kuma/Panda. Whoever they say, I'll be on the boat for.
Roger Jr. ain't changing from this list. My list.
I hate that you want to support a cheater, dude. That's wild.
All right, Soul Calibur. I don't see a thing I want to change here.
Nah. Killer Instinct. I want Sabretooth, but I mean, you redid your list. Sabretooth, if anything, for the fact that that is a character that looks different, and if you're not gonna be
I'd
funny,
get rid of Jago just because he's so fucking basic.
he is base. It is, but who's our new blood?
We don't have new blood in Killer Instinct. This is all legacy characters. So maybe we'll get rid of Orchid for the Sudoku-like character.
Sadako.
Yeah.
And wait, sorry, you said get rid of Orchid for Sadako, and then
Get rid of
Jago for Sabretooth.
yeah.
If you're not gonna be funny big bear guy, you're gonna be like vicious bear looking wolf guy.
Reasonable.
Okay, Chris says he's a gay character, cheater or not. Let's see. Wait, does it make sense?
Marvel,
you were
baby.
talking about no robot from NBC. NBC. Wait. No robot from Marvel's Capcom. I'm lost.
We didn't choose Surbot because technically Phoenix Wright counts as the gag character as well for Capcom.
Yeah, he's serving you papers. Oh, that's true.
Uh,
Sadako versus Foss would be cool.
That would be kind of fun. Although, actually, her versus Zappa would be the wildest. Which I almost put him in the Guilty Gear one, but fucking
Marvel.
Guilty Gear just has too many good fucking characters. Marvel, there's not a single fucking character I would change on
And
this
that list
list.
goes hard. Capcom.
I mean, it's basically predominantly X-Men, but fuck it, that's Marvel. Capcom, I like the blend here. I do think that
Something's off.
here's
about
where I'm
it, but,
torn.
like,
I like Captain Commando for the legacy. Because
sometimes-
his name is literally where we get Capcom from.
I get it. I get it. No one gives a shit.
But I do think on some level, if I'm thinking like what is Capcom nowadays, I think in my heart of hearts, I kind of want to replace Captain Commando with Monster Hunter representative.
New Blood, Old Blood.
Yeah.
Who's the newest Marvel or newest Capcom character really added in? Yo, Hold
The
on,
newest
hold on, hold
Capcom
on.
character was like Monster Hunter.
yeah, fuck. I had a pretty cool idea, but I was like, maybe Captain Commando get swapped with someone a little more beautiful than that.
I mean, I would put beautiful, but then I would say we need to get rid of Phoenix.
Yeah. All right. So you put just a monster. Is there
There's no like canonical name, so I just put like Monster Hunter.
Okay. I feel like you do got to keep Commandos as a pepperoni.
I mean, Captain Commando is important for two reasons. One, for Capcom's legacy, and two, when you think fucking Marvel 2, he was the quintessential assist character.
Just for that meeting, April says, look, if you do, I have an idea.
Maybe he comes back as DLC.
If you put Monster Hunter, if you want to keep, I'd say you get rid of Strider.
No.
Resident Evil is essentially current Capcom. I kind of agree with that.
Yeah, Monster Hunter is what makes them the most money, but I'd say in terms of like core gamers, Resident Evil is what keeps them popular. But Monster Hunter unarguably is what makes Capcom money.
Yeah, I think the only real true budgeable thing from that is Strider, because I think Phoenix Strike's your gag, Monster Hunters are new, Dante's you got to have a good versus
He's in
bad,
that in between area.
but you have that good
yeah.
versus bad like alternate too. So I mean, like Strider's the only one that's like kind of like chilling there. He's good, but like on what level?
Yeah.
That's the only one that I would say that you'd have to swap. But if you're sticking on that Strider hill, then moving on.
Yeah. All right. Darkstalkers.
It's fine.
Yeah, I'm still solid with this list.
I think
Guilty Gear. Oh, man. A part of me's torn because a lot of these characters are legacy. And there is a part of my brain that's like, oh, we kind of need a little bit newer representation in here as well. But, like,
Who's the best new person from Strive?
I mean, Nagato 100% is fucking absolute boss.
So then who do they get in, or who knocks them out?
A Pepperoni, Biken's been around since nearly the beginning. You know, I think I'm going to make a controversial choice here. As much as I feel like you can't have Soul without Kai, I think we get rid of Kai and we throw in Nagato in there.
Okay.
Further, no, I think we leave it at that. God damn it, there's not enough character slots.
Ooh, okay, we're gonna have to go. I have one more to go back to. Actually, I kind of.
Yeah, Nagato's the samurai, A Pepperoni.
Okay, do your thing up until the guess. I have something from guess I want to mention, and one more from a
Alright.
game we passed.
Blaze Blue. I go back and forth on either doing Hazama or Terumi, but I think Terumi is the way I want to go on that one. The only other one that I kind of maybe want to change is switching out Bang for Taokaka.
Bang is a sick name.
Taokaka?
No, Bang.
Oh, Bang, yeah. Bang Shishigami. You know, you did mention something earlier, though, that is a good point, in that looking at this roster, there is still a bit of a lack of keep away representation.
As owners, baby.
So I think what I would do. Fuck, this hurts me because Noel is my main in fucking Blaze Blue, followed by Tager, so I won't have any of my mains in here. But I think for the sake of having roster diversity, I think we have to have Rachel Alucard.
Rachel instead of Noel.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, and then
Skullgirl's not going legacy, it's whatever.
yeah, Skullgirls is just kind of whatever, and I think that's that
That's fine.
is Skullgirls right there. Yeah, Arcana Heart. Yeah, I think that's a good blend right there. I mean, there's mostly legacy characters there, but predominantly those are the characters most people play. The only one that might be worth putting in is the Grappler Girl, but I think that not having a predatory looking roster is the important part, and those are probably some of the better characters to throw in there. Then as for the guests, man, this could go so many
No,
ways.
so I'm gonna make one opinion and see if I sell you on
Yo.
it. Each of those four, or each of those guest characters, except for one, is from one of the proper series that we've already had from here. Meaning you're going out of the way for your funny car just to put him in there when that supersedes ever having so now that's the one exception to this whole thing that you had when the other four have been part of the other series. This is the only time you've done that in the entire thing. You ruined the consistency of it. So I'm gonna once
That's
again
fair.
propose that I think you're knocking out something here. I think we do a Killer Instinct guest. You either got fucking like Halo representation, Gears of War representation, or Battletoads representation. And considering that was your gag, I think you get funny Rash Frog in there. But honestly, here's the thing with guests too. Guests as gags is not really the move, I think. Like as a guest gag is just kind of like a whimper. Like who really
It
wants
has to be. Though.
Yeah, but like also like
that is the consistency we have had.
So then if we do that, then Funny Frog gets it, I think. Otherwise, I think having a shooter character represented in the fighting games that's properly already inducted in there is kind of cool because now you're genre bending and doing the Smash thing further.
I'm looking at these games here.
I feel like Battletoads, because it's a little more unique than the other guest characters. Okay, I'm saying. David, he's here every week. It's been assigned. And we have to give respect to KI trying to do the Microsoft Smash thing.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah.
Rash.
I'll let it rock. We'll throw Rash in there.
Okay. I'm going to make one more thing because it's been hurting me. I don't feel okay about this.
What's that?
Let's go back to Tekken.
Go back to Tekken. All right.
I'm getting rid of Roger Jr.
Nope.
for Nina Williams because Azucena is Coffee Queen gag character.
Absolutely not.
It's a joke character, David. We have two joke characters in there. She's Coffee Queen. She came out and she says, do you have coffee inflicts you, and that's her thing. That's the gag character. Unironically, the gag character.
Mm.
I don't say this. I don't say this. I accepted it. I don't say it out of like us doing that. I say it that now we broke it because that is the gag character.
I hate your logic because it's not wrong, and it does feel wrong not having Nina in here.
Look, like
Fuck. All right.
the gag characters necessarily need to be funny like Animal. I get that, but also like, hold on. Let me look through this real quick. I'll say this. Consistency is what feels good about this. Like this list has been curated to a massive degree. And I say that having just got Rash on the list. But Rash is kind of humanoid enough, I feel like. But like I think Roger Jr. is like out of all the things is kind of a little bit outside of it because it's like almost like a pure animal. I would say the same thing with Kuma, I swear to God. I promise you I would say the same thing about Kuma or Panda.
That's fair. It really doesn't feel right having
Nina,
Kazuya
I
there
feel
and not
weird
Nina.
about Nina not being in there because like
Yeah.
she is like the badass of Tekken and she's the
She
girl
is the
badass.
female face of Tekken.
And the
Just
badass.
Straight up. Yeah.
And I feel like
It's
You-
like having Street Fighter without Chun-Li, in all earnesty.
and like I know Kazuya and Nina would be up to some shit, but then Ogre would be up to more shit, and like they gotta figure that shit out. David, I promise you, I swear I'm not joking. I would say the same thing about Panda
Yeah.
and Kuma.
You're not wrong.
I'd say that's Coffee Queen is the joke, like, because that's gonna be the joke, right? Is like if in the story mode she's gonna be drinking coffee and fucking hopped up on like caffeine the entire time. Oh yeah, there was. I didn't know he was a kangaroo.
Technically,
Uh,
so the thing with Roger Jr. is he's technically the baby kangaroo in the adult kangaroo's pouch.
yeah, I love it. We were talking about him being a cheater. And everyone's like, well, everyone's like following along. And I know he gets a kangaroo.
Yeah, Roger, like literally, that's the joke. Is Roger is a slang term for a kangaroo.
I would say the same thing with Panda and Kuma. So I think we get rid of those because I think Coffee Queen is just the meme.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Thank you. I know
it
I
is-
know that was gonna be a hard sell. I saw your face on it, but like unironically, Azucena
Unironically,
is the meme.
that's fair. If we're gonna have our new main in there, I think it's fair to have her be the gaggish character. In
She's
there.
the gaggish and also like the new blood. So she did a lot of that. She did a lot of the weightlifting. So we can have Armor King, Ogre, Kazuya, and Nina in there.
That's such a banger lineup.
That
too.
like I get that, right? Like that goes in, and then we got a character from that's something right there. Now, I don't know much about Tekken. That surprised me. Tekken's amazing. Please get into that.
Dude, Tekken's roster and lore is so fucking wild and deep.
Now I want you to like let's sit back and look at this list. Now there's like such a uniformity around like everything, right? Got that guy character, got that balance of good and evil, got that balance. It feels good. Guest characters aside, because guest character is a funny guest character list, and I love it because of that. That makes sense. Sorry, David. I like the kangaroo, but I would David or Adrian this time. I'm telling you, the panda's funnier. I'm not.
No,
the panda is just inherently funnier.
No, Panda versus Roger, 100%. I'm going Roger every day.
Because pandas are also going extinct because they're so fucking lazy, and this one's taking on the fucking ogre.
I mean, fair, but no.
I get
gotta
it.
go
I
Roger
get it.
and Roger
Funny. You
Jr.
like cheating. I get it. It's funny. Anyway, David, we're on about 3 hours. I want to say 5 minutes. I want you because I want to come back to this next week. This was fun, and we're copying podcasts after this. We'll talk about Linus next week. We went on a fever high with this. I don't want to talk about some shitty person.
Fair.
We'll come back. I promise. But
Because I really want to fucking rant
100%.
about him so bad.
Well, next week. And now I promise you will come back. In fact, I'm gonna write on here, Linus. He'll be in the game. Okay. You have 5 minutes. We have this podcast is gonna be 3 hours and 5 minutes. What's your 5 minute elevator pitch for what the story is?
Okay, 5-minute elevator pitch for this story is it's going to be kind of set up in a similar way to, honestly, Isekai Quartet. Are you
I
familiar
don't know
with
what
that
the
at
fuck
all?
you just said.
Okay. Isekai Quartet is a crossover of a bunch of isekai anime. So it's a crossover of Overlord, Konosuba, Saga of Tanya the Evil, and a bunch of other series along the way.
Okay.
And the way I would do it is it would basically be built around a kind of gaggish premise where there's just shit already happening in the storylines of these games. And all these characters just happen to go ahead and have reality warped around them. So some kind of weird, goofy bullshit, almost kind of like Smash-esque, where it's like, okay, there's just this overreaching, like, deity that just comes out as like, yoink, and just pulls these people out. These are the ones that aren't able to get away or think that they're like, no, I'm going to fucking take that. I don't know what the fuck's going on, but I'm going to fight that. And that's how it picks the characters that are in this roster. Is it's a combination of characters that either just were minding their own fucking business and got yoinked away and couldn't do anything about it, or someone was like, "Oh, fuck you, I'm gonna fight that thing," and that's how they ended up in this crossover world. And it's going to start off almost like a tournament of power in Dragon Ball Super, where initially all
This
the
man
characters of
references
their
Dragon Ball and
universes,
doesn't put any Dragon Ball in there. All right, got you.
yeah. Where initially all the characters are going to kind of want to stay together with their universes because they're a known.
It's like gang
as opposed to
battles.
all the unknown
It's like gang
unknowns.
wars.
Exactly. So you're going to have those interesting moments where you're going to have villains and heroes of certain series working together because they don't know about all these other entities. Then eventually, the more egotistical characters are, of course, going to splinter off because they're going to get to a certain point where they get cocky, they get brash, and then it's just going to become like fucking WWE in the Attitude Era. It's just all these faction wars that just break out. And you're going to have teams that consist of, like, here's the Street Fighter team, here's the King of Fighters team, but then it's going to be like, here's, like, the Lone Wolves, and it's just a team of characters that just do their own thing, or it's like all, weird, crazy combo teams like King of Fighters has, where it's like the only thing these characters have in common is they suplex people, but because they all suplex people, they weirdly get along. And it's just weird combinations like that. So you'll have your combination of like, okay, like obviously Ryu, Chun-Li, and probably Zangief and or Dudley. They're all gonna get along. They all have worked together before. They're all good buddies. JP's probably gonna go fuck off and do his own thing. Scorpion and Sub-Zero, depending what version you throw in there, whether it's older versions of them where they're mortal enemies or newer versions where they get along, you get a lot of weird, interesting elements from there. Onaga's obviously gonna go fuck off and do his own thing. Tekken Kazuya is gonna be like, Nina, we're in this shit together. I pay you to fucking deal with this shit. Let's go. And then she's gonna deep sigh. They're gonna
See,
go
I'm
do
telling
their
you,
own thing.
You can't have this. You can't have that Tekken faction without Nina. Like that's
Exactly.
That's unfortunate if we did that.
Armor King is gonna have his weird sense of honor. Zeneca is gonna be along for the ride. Ogre doesn't give a fuck about anything other than being strong. And there's gonna be so many little things kind of built up along the way throughout for reasons like that. And especially when you add in like the more just interesting characters like a Mingo. There's so many weird things you could do with those kind of gag characters. I just love the idea of throwing them in random team comps where they're just stuck with that character for whatever reason.
So let's save the ending. Now all I wanted to do is give me your only three best team duos.
Ooh, duos?
Yeah, Peacock is fighting a
Like
Mingo.
from each game, if I had to go down the list?
No, so like you have to pick just three. Name it out there. So if you're, I'm like random, like Magneto and like Scorpion or whatever. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's your three?
Okay,
combos?
so are we planning this as like a 2v2 or
No,
3v3?
I'm just saying like it's story. Like these are the two like they teamed up and they were like, all right, we're doing this.
Okay, so just like in general, thinking aloud, if these are the characters that are definitely teaming up in my brain cavity.
Yeah, who's like, oh, that'd be sick together.
Honestly, Ryu and Sub-Zero, 100%. I think there's no way that you don't have those two teaming up in this storyline in some capacity.
Okay.
Then from
How
there,
about a trio? Says Ape Pepperoni. Okay, we do trio. There's a lot of characters. Let's do trio then.
okay, so for a trio, oh man, so I think we would have like a big villainous trio where I think we would get Geese, we would get Ogre, and I think we would get Magneto, potentially all working together to some degree.
I would supersede Ogre with Wesker.
I feel like Magneto would punch Wesker's throat in, but I can see the thought process.
I think that's the mind you want though, right? Like,
Fair.
but,
So
but
no,
I, can see
I
Ogre.
think that
Ogre's fine. Yeah, keep Ogre.
Another combination of characters I would see is honestly, I would go ahead and I'd have like a professionals category where you have Faust, you know, you have the team doctor essentially. You have Phoenix Wright, the team lawyer. And then from there, you got to throw in, oh fuck, who would be a good one around the team professionals? Fuck, who would be the? Oh man, I feel like Big Band. Fuck it, I think you throw Big Band in there because then he's the team kind of detective,
Okay.
and it's just team professionals, and it's just a really weird, hilarious combo of characters. Then of course, there's no way you have Guilty Gear and Blaze Blue in the same game without Ragna and Soul Bad Guy teaming up. There's just no way that's not happening. And honestly, I think what would happen is I think they would ultimately become a trio at the end of the storyline with Dante. Because all three of them are characters that have like an extra side to them that's like monstrous. And I think Dante initially would be like, fuck it, I'm kind of going alone. But then as the threats progressing, he's like, fuck, I kind of need a little bit of backup. That's when they would be like, hey, we all we all prefer working alone, but like maybe we
Let's
all
work
need
alone
to team up here.
together.
Yeah, let's look alone together. So you have the three demonic transformation sword masters all going fucking balls out to the wall with that. I think that's definitely a thing you gotta have in this storyline. Especially because like I could see a situation where especially if you're really trying to incorporate like the guest characters into it, I could see Omni-Man being that like serious threat situation where it's like, fuck, we really need to go ahead and like work together on something on a threat like this.
So let me ask you two more things. Well, one side
Hell
question:
yeah.
Is Monster Hunter vocal in the game, or is he one of those silent characters?
I think that you would need to give them a vocalization. I think
Do they not
because
have it
of
right
how-
now though?
I don't think right now they do. No, I think it's just like grunts and shit.
So then, Link, Armor King, and Monster Hunter.
I mean, Armor King still talks and growls.
Okay, so
they
then-
speak
so-
Jaguar.
So then, Rash,
They get subtitles.
Rash, Sabretooth, and Armor King. I want the Animal Crew.
Yes, yeah, perfect. Animal Crew. They all talk in animal, and they all get subtitled. Fuck it.
Well, Rash doesn't, but that's the funny part. It's the big weird frog is the one that talks English.
No, he tries to fit in and speaks in like a fake frog, like ribbit.
Team Toon with Rash, Peacock, and Amingo.
Ooh, that'd be fun.
I want to be Chun-Li and Nina together.
Ooh,
That's just that's some badass. That's some
fuck.
badass.
That's a good deadly combo. God damn.
All right. Now here's my last question before we're wrapping this up.
All right.
One trio to rule them all in terms of supreme evil. These are the three that rise
Ooh.
up, and they're the ones that like. There's some evil. There's like levels of evil. There's some people up there, but these are the three that you're like, don't fuck with them. Those are the.
I mean, you have to put Omni-Man there.
Okay.
And then I think you would have to have Onaga there.
Okay.
And then if we're, I think probably Jeddah. Like if I'm thinking like true fucking evil, like that's probably the top 3. And storyline wise, that's probably also how they start to collapse, because it'd basically be like Deadly Alliance, where you have all of the like biggest villains teaming up, and then they just start to turn on each other because they're fucking villains. They want the power.
You know, April has one, and you know what team would be sick? Like they're not the super next level villains, but like that's a Dastardly trio you don't want to fuck with because they're like on some next level shit. Is Wesker, JP, and Geese?
Ooh. Fuck, that would be wild. You have basically Geese as your front man, you know, leading the charge on it. JP as your long range, mid range assist in the background, and then Wesker just kind of filling in all the gaps from
He's
there.
the mastermind.
Otherwise,
Geese is but Geese is like the front man. Like that's intimidating. Wesker's the mastermind of it. JP's like the puppet master though too, in a way. Like he's controlling all
oh
that shit.
man, fucking A.
And then April, Double or Jeddah?
Jeddah is easily far more evil than Double.
And then
by leagues.
Last one is Team Assassin. Who's the crew that's going
Ooh.
undercover to be like, let's do some shit in the down low to keep. This reminds me of like Project Cross Zone.
Yeah,
That's what the vibes I'm
100%.
getting. Yeah,
Yeah, it was basically Project Crossroad, the fighting game.
yeah, who's doing,
So I mean,
who's doing your sneaky underground shit to like the one doing stuff in the background trying to get some shit, like they're keeping things good for everyone, but like
so I think this would kind of fall into a category of characters where they're all not necessarily good characters per se, but they all have an understanding of like, we don't get out of this without other more evil shit being taken care of.
Mhm.
I think Nina leads the team.
okay.
You have to have Nina leading the team. You have to have Strider. And then this is going to be a more obscure one for you, but Lisa Lett
Okay.
from Arcana Heart.
Angel asks April Ray.
I mean, she doesn't really fit the kind of assassin-y mindset. She's kind of just a goofy, happy-go-lucky wrestlery character.
And so
So she would definitely fit into like Team Grappler, where maybe you throw her in with like Zangief and then Armor King. Like that would be a fun fucking combo.
So I think to offset, so Omni-Man, Onaga, and Jeddah are the one you're saying. Ragnar, Soul Bad Guy, and Dante are the ones that are like leading the charge against them.
Yeah, those are definitely like the okay, shit's gotten real. These are probably, I mean, you'd probably have to have Kazuya in the mix as well. But I think like yeah, fuck.
Who would
In
you
terms
swap?
of power scaling,
Ragnar, Soul
I think
Bad
if
Guy,
you-
Dante.
in terms of power scaling, I think it would actually have to be Soul Bad Guy. It would have to be Dante, and then it would have to be Kazuya. Like if we're talking like final, you know, the final situation. to
Omni-Man,
get all...
Onaga, and Jeddah versus Kazuya, Dante, and Soul Bad Guy.
No, because again, in
I know,
the story,
I'm
eventually
I'm
they would
just
turn
saying,
on
like,
each other.
just imagine that cutscene into the final battle, dude.
Yeah, that seems fucking wild.
All right, and then those are your triple threat of good guys who are like just the heart and soul of like it's Ryu, like Ryu's in there. That's
Yeah, you
zero.
gotta have Ryu.
Yeah,
Terry.
yeah,
Terry would be another kind of heart and soul, earnest good guy.
and Rash.
Trying to think of characters that are not already part. You know, honestly, Cyclops.
Okay. This is a nutty list, dude.
This is fucking
You
wild.
can just keep thinking of really cool things of what's happening.
Oh, like even Team Assassins, there's still so many other fucking characters that could go in there. Like Jade could go in there. We don't even have Mai in that list.
Who's your I keep asking questions. Ryu and Cyclops can do the handshake once again.
Exactly. You got to have a callback to it.
Who's your wild card? Like, does some really cool shit out of nowhere, and it's like it stuns everyone.
You know, in terms of just kind of strolling down through these lists here, I think that an absolute wild card character would probably have to be Link, honestly. Like thinking about how in a weird way, despite the fact that fucking Arcana Heart is a Moe fighting game, Link still is like the one character on this list that really stands out like a sore fucking thumb.
Okay.
I think that would be like truly where he almost kind of fits a similar niche to like Monster Hunter, where he's going to have a lot of different items and tools and resources to fit in. But whereas Monster Hunter is just this like prototypical looking, like, oh, they look like they've seen some shit. They look like they fucked some shit up. There's just this blonde asshole in a tunic that doesn't speak regular words going around.
Yeah, I could see a cutscene happening where one of these, I could see something like where even like Omni-Man tries to do some shit to like Link, but like Triforce protects him and it freaks the fuck out of Omni-Man. He's like, what the fuck?
Because that's the thing. It's like, this is crossover. You can do whatever you want. You could have it be a weird situation where Link gets the power of all three Triforces. He gets power, wisdom, and courage.
Yeah, I'm saying like one of the Omega threats tries to do something to him and then just like freaks him out. Like, what the fuck? Hellboy versus Dante would be sick.
Oh fuck! Or you could even have it be where it's Fierce Deity Link, and he gets literally empowered by the gods. Oh man, there's so much you could do with this shit. And Hellboy is a fun pick. Same with 2B. Like 2B is like a good, if we were to put it in like wrestling
2B.
terms.
All right, hold on.
Yeah, go ahead.
Who fills in this list? 2B Morgan. Who's your third?
Ooh, 2B Morgan.
That's a thirsty ass list.
Mai.
Okay,
If you're going to the thirsty ass list, you gotta have Mai.
My bad. 2B Morgan and Mai. Congratulations, Coomers. You guys win.
They just keep winning.
Coomers can't stop winning, bro. Oh, man.
And again, like I said earlier, Relius and fucking Dimitri, I would pair up because they both have similar high-end supers that just transform another character into a female variant of them. I don't know who else I would throw in with them. That might just be like a duo, and then they can get like a randomized third. Because I think I would want it be a 3v3 game. I think.
Yeah, well, considering we just talked about trios the entire time, and it just like
it's got to be a 3v3. But you know, that could be one of those things where they have no canonical third character, and it's just kind of whatever else you throw in there. If Valentine was on the Skullgirls list, and she could be in that, or like an assassin category as well.
Who's Geef's best friend?
Geef?
Zangief.
I'd put him in a grapplers category. So
who's his best friend? Who's the one that he just like? He gives a big old hug to because he's like, this is my new fucking favorite person.
It would either be King of Fighters Raiden or Angel, 100%. I could see it leaning a little bit more towards Angel because she would probably remind him a lot of Armika.
I was gonna jokingly say Armika in there, but that'd been too funny. Who is Coffee Queen meeting up with?
Ooh,
I want to see that jokester.
I feel like I want to pair her with more serious characters, just for that kind of like obnoxiousness, where two people are taking the situation seriously and she's trying to create levity. No, I'd throw her to Jade and Taki because they haven't been thrown onto a team yet, and they're very much like get the mission done kind of characters. And she would be that kind of necessary, just like comic relief character to calm shit down a bit.
See, I would love Azucena with 2B because I feel like Alucina would fuck a mission up, but then when they would come out there, she would also just fuck them up, and that would surprise Tubi, and it'd be a really funny expression.
Fair.
She'd be like, "What the fuck?"
The problem I'm looking at here is like looking at Killer Instinct. I'm struggling to put them on teams. Like I feel like the natural option would be to kind of pair them with some of the Darkstalkers characters.
Say again.
So like Killer Instinct's roster, I'm struggling to kind of think of putting them in teams. The natural thought process is to like start pairing them up maybe with some of the Darkstalker cast.
Sadako and Nightmare.
Is Sadako a villain though in Killer Instinct?
Looks like a fucking villain.
I don't know enough about her storyline to know if she actually is or not.
There's two of your scary characters.
Because I mean, we could put like Storm together probably with Donovan, and
Hisako, sorry, it's Hisako.
Hisako, yeah. Because Sadako is
Sadako.
from The Ring.
Yeah. Hisako. She's getting revenge on
Aproni
a
in the
company.
chat,
Yeah.
So maybe that's kind of what you do with her is you kind of throw into the category of like misunderstood characters, maybe, where you pair her up with like Anacris, and then maybe you pair her up with Misfortune, where they're all characters that are like horror themed, but they're not bad people.
Yeah. You know what this is kind of giving me vibes of? Sorry, you said Hisako, Misfortune, and who?
And Anacris.
Okay, which one is she from again?
Uh,
Darkstalkers.
yeah.
This makes me feel like we're like creating Secret Wars, but with fighting game.
Yeah.
Because you're having to really do the whole what characters would team with who, and what's the main objective? Who is on Darkstalkers roster again?
We have Morgan, Jetta, Dimitri, Anacris, and Donovan.
Yoshimitsu?
Ooh. There should be kind of like a swordsman, like there really should be a more kind of swordsman specific one, I guess. So Yoshimitsu, Donovan, and
I would say
Fuck, I think
Link.
that's kinda-
but-
that would be a funny combination. You have a character that never shuts the fuck up in Yoshimitsu. You have a character that never talks in Link. And then you just got fucking holy hell, the alcohol's sitting in now. Who's our
Donovan.
third boy? Donovan there. Who is I think Donovan and Link would get along pretty well.
What's
And Yoshimitsu
what's Hellboy doing?
Hellboy, that's a good one. I think Hellboy you pair up with Ragna. Because they're both. Because I think you got to have a group that's like, all right, we got to start taking care of like.
Oh, if I said the
Oh.
demons, Kazuya and
Ooh.
Hellboy would have been sick.
Oh, Kazuya and Hellboy would have been sick actually, and then pair them with pair them with Dante. But no, I think that you need to have a group that's just like, fuck it, we need to start taking out some of the more villainous shit. Hellboy, Ragna, they ain't fucking around. They don't have time for this shit. They're putting some evil down. And I think, again, to kind of add that slightly comedic tone-ish balance to it, and because we've only paired up like one Arcana Heart character, I think you put Heart in there.
You know what I say we do? Let's cut this because we're getting late.
Oh, yeah, we're getting pretty late.
What I want to do is next week. I feel like let's see. Maybe there'll be some gaming news. Um, let's see if we can wind this down to make everyone a trio, and let's add our DLC characters.
We have 70 characters. We can't make.
I
even
know,
teams
but
of
I mean, we'll
3.
see how far we get, right?
Let me see here. We can come up with 23 teams of 3. But then there's going to be a couple duos, so just fine, because there's a couple characters on this list I think would be duos.
We have like
anyways.
13 of them already, so we're halfway through.
Yeah. So I will. That'll be our
Something
homework
to
for
think
next
about.
week.
This is a fun list. I just want to kind of refer back to. And who knows? Maybe DBZ shows up there. Maybe Dead or Alive shows up there.
Maybe. Play your cards right.
Play your cards right. Let's wrap that up though, and then because I know Dave wants to talk about Lions next week, so we'll save
Yeah.
some juice.
Also, it is almost.
Yeah, that
was
was a 2 hour long deviation that was worth it 100% though. We created the most like fan driven thing you could ever imagine. Like, it's unfortunate David would never win $1 billion because this would be the most incredible thing to ever happen in this. And you know how sick that'd be, dude. Like, imagine the Evo for this, David.
Yeah.
All right, that's the last question, I promise. Ideally, out of this, with movesets in mind, who are your grand finals? Who are the two teams versus offset each other? It doesn't have to be themed, obviously.
I think there would definitely be some weird fucking character loyalist shit that would happen because that is fighting games ultimately in a nutshell. I guarantee you we see a Kazuya in finals. I guarantee you we see a Scorpion in finals.
But hold on, what's the team? So let's say player one is who?
Ooh. I think player one, let's give them Kazuya, Scorpion, and I think we would probably give them. And that's. You know what? We're gonna give them Dante.
Okay, who's player two? Player two,
I
I feel like
think-
you gave the guy the classic. Like he's like, I'm on the classic roster. This other guy's a fucking whack job. This guy's a nutso.
Yeah, this is something like Apology Man or Kane Blue River, where they're like, "Fuck you, this is a weird
I'm
shit
doing
that
what I
works."
want to do. What did this guy do?
This person probably did JP.
I don't know why I thought there's a JP happening.
They probably did Yoshimitsu.
And Rash.
And they probably did Saki.
Okay, that's your dream teams, like those two.
I think that's what would happen.
All right, I mean you're in your okay. Is that your dream, like grand finals? If you're watching though.
Okay, no. If we're talking like my actual dream,
No, I
grand
want to see what
finals,
you're agreeing. Like you're watching, you got this game made. You're watching the best players of all time play this game, David. Who is like. holy
Okay, so
shit.
yeah, we'll keep team one because I think that would
Okay.
that would legitimately be. Plus, I think that could also be an interesting team composition to watch play. On team two, for what I would want to see, honestly, I would see Point Dimitri. Then from there, I would probably see Assist Fulgore. And for Anchor, oh man. We gotta have the one weird pick. Because this is a man that don't give a fuck about how the tier list bounces out. This is a specialist. This is a person that reps their life. They do what they do best. And that last character is a Mingo. They anchor a Mingo.
Okay. Let's see. I'm finding the most. Okay, and then hold on. Actually, I'm gonna say this. This is funny to me. Okay. You got player one who you don't understand what the fuck he's doing because he goes in the selection screen. He picks Doctor Doom, JP, and Armor King,
Mm.
and you're like, what the fuck is this guy gonna do? Next to him, we already said this team before. It's just so fucking funny to me. You have the biggest Coomer of all time. He saw his three. He saw his three, and he knows he's not picking anyone else, and that's who he's going. So, Armor King, JP, Doctor Doom versus 2B Morgan and Mai.
Yeah.
And that's the funniest thing I could ever imagine. I don't know how the fuck you go from playing JP and then you swap into Armor King, but that's just good shit, dude. I don't understand it.
You know, depending how it's set up, Armor King could be like the Hagger of the team, where he just pulls out the weird midair grapple shenanigans.
Sure. What a list.
Good fucking list.
I can't believe we came up with that list. There you go. Hey, all those studios work together with Disney and get that working. I'm sure it'll be fine. All right, we're ending the podcast. 3.5 hours. That was worth it. That was good shit. Yo, team Vengeful Spirits, Scorpion, Sadako, and Anakuris.
Ooh, that'd be good.
God, there's so much you can do with this. You should just publish this list and say, hey, what's your team theme?
Bro, who's gonna give us the money to lead this? Let's go.
Yeah, who's gonna give us the Elon money? All right, y'all. I gotta run off and do some stuff. Thank you guys for hanging out. I appreciate that. Alan Wake, American Nightmare Games Gone By on the 28th. We'll see if Control happens. I think that's it.
Hell
Thank you,
yeah.
everybody. Hell yeah. Goodbye.
Bye.